Good evening and welcome to Spanish Fork High School, where tonight the Dons and the Cedar Valley Aviators get ready to kick off the home portion of the Spanish Fork Dons schedule. And the kickoff is underway, and we're set and ready to play football, as going back into the end zone will be Parker Christensen. They will not let him bring it out, and we'll have a tough loss last week, a 45-3 decision to Maple Mountain.
Yeah, and it looked like they played well. Might have struggled with some field position you mentioned pregame, but if you look at the stats, you would think they struggled with some field position you mentioned pregame, but if you look at the stats, you would think they'd have had more than 3 points. And Maple Mountain not just had the big bombs over the top to some of their big receivers like Hall.
The Golden Eagles started the first play from scrimmage with a long touchdown. We'll see the Aviators first with quarterback Peyton Weber, who throws that one out, and that is going to be complete out to E.J. Larson, who gets out across the 25-yard line to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, so a good first down pickup. In fact, Chris, they're going to give him 9.
Yeah, they're giving him about 8 or 9 there. They're going fast. Great tackle by Hernandez there in open space for the Dons.
2nd and 1, it's Maucia up the middle, and he's going to have enough for a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line or so, and Cedar Valley's got an early first down right off the bat here, Chris, and like you said, they're going hurry up. We'll try to get our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game in here momentarily, as once again, they'll throw a short pass. That's going to be complete to Carter Johnston there on the
Johnston
on the reception there. That's a lot of what Cedar Valley did last week against Maple Mountain. A lot of kind of intermediate throws, Chris, just to kind of pick up 5, 6, 7 yards.
Yeah, and Weber was very efficient last week, going 17 for 23.
Weber throws that one out. That's complete. That will be good enough for another first down. That's out to Lucas Peck. And right there, Cedar Valley back-to-back first downs, and the Aviators are flying here on their first possession.
Yeah, good nickname for this team is they're really just going 3-4 wide here, one single back, and just throwing it quick.
There's another completion down the sideline. That's Noah Burnham, and Burnham's inside the Spanish Fork 40-yard line. Another big first down, Chris. They're going fast, and they're spreading the ball up around here early on. Yeah,
they're doing a great job of utilizing the whole field, keeping wide open spaces and making quick passes.
Ready to go again right up the middle. I think this again is going to be Maucia in the backfield.
Yeah, I believe he was brought down by Rasmussen that time. And let's see if the Dons are trying to substitute, and they got to hurry.
Spanish Fork didn't use a lot of depth last week, so it appeared, as that one's thrown to. They're going to call that complete, it looks like, down to about the 35-yard line. Noah Burnham again on the catch.
Yeah, and this is a huge third down. If you're the Dons, you definitely want to try and force a fourth down in this situation to make Cedar Valley decide what they want to do.
3rd down and 5 right here for Cedar Valley, looking to try to convert as Weber throws over the middle. That is going to be complete. That is going to be Lucas Peck. And Peck will get inside the 30-yard line down to right around the 25, 26, but that's good enough for another first down.
Yeah, and man, this Aviator team has ran it well, passed it well, so the play action just froze everybody that time, and they had to respect it.
And ready to go once again, and this time I believe it's Maucia. The ball may have come loose. Spanish Fork has it. Now they're going to blow it dead. Coming back the other way was going to be
Rupena.
Rupena going the other way right there.
Tubby Rupena, huh?
And right there, I mean, I didn't hear a whistle or anything there to blow that ball dead until Spanish Fork was almost to the 50-yard line right there. But Cedar Valley stopped almost immediately, Chris, making it kind of sound like they might have heard a whistle somewhere.
Yeah, they acted like it was dead. You know, it's hard to hear from clear up here with headphones on, but we didn't catch anything on our shotgun mask, so they're going to call it 2nd and about 11.
So it will end up being a little bit of a loss there, and we'll kind of slow down that Cedar Valley offense here. Weber back to throw, looking down the sideline, has a man out there, but just threw it out in front of Burnham. That goes incomplete, and it brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, great coverage by Hernandez out there on the corner. He did enough to slow him down, but not enough to get a penalty. So otherwise, that could have been 6 for the Aviators.
Ready to go. Once again, 4 wide receivers. Weber back to throw, sets up the screen pass. Maucia's got it. Penalty flag comes in. So Mausia is going to be just a little bit short, but we'll have to wait to see. This is kind of, Chris, in that area where you get a holding or maybe an ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, that's true. But great job on it's going to be holding, but great job by Rapena, who's made a couple of big plays here. Tubby Rapena staying at home on that screen and getting past a blocker to blow that play up, and the Dons will take the penalty here.
It's going to be 3rd down and 11. Third down and quite a bit right there. It's going to be probably in the range of 20. Probably 22, 23 maybe.
Okay, it is 3rd down. They didn't change the marker. It's been 3rd down for a while.
Sorry, it's 3rd and 30. My math isn't quite there yet, Chris.
Yeah, the side stick there only had 2nd down. It looks like they got to fix some confusion with our wonderful officials in the side crew there, the chain gang.
Weber back to throw, sets that one up, and the flat diving coming up with it. And it's going to be intercepted. That is going to be number 17, Hernandez, coming up with it. Coming the other way, and right off the bat, we get a Mikkel Thompson and Hunter attorneys at law. Great defensive play for the senior corner, Jeffrey Hernandez.
Yeah, just another little out route. Hernandez has seen that several times on that drive, and he just jumps it, as we saw there on the Car Guys instant replay.
So now we'll turn it over to the Spanish Fork offense. They're going to be led by the junior quarterback, Zach Dart, who last year was kind of back and forth in a little bit of a quarterback battle, but this year, Chris, it's his job and it's his offense.
Yeah, we'll see if he can gain some, rely on some of that experience he gained last year to lead the Dons to victory tonight.
Cade Olson goes in motion. Here's a give right up the middle. It's going to be Tayson Reed on the carry. Reed had 70 yards on the ground last week on 15 carries, including a touchdown. And right there, Chris, kind of the powerful run right through the middle on 1st down.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Spanish Fork can take advantage of it. We'll have to see how the offensive line here matches up against the Aviators defensive line.
2nd down and 9 here with 9:07 to go here in the 1st quarter. No score between Spanish Fork and Cedar Valley. Ready to go. Here's a give up the middle. 1st down run here for Reed. Still on his feet. Still keeping the legs moving. He's going to be inside. He's going to be down to about the 40. He might get the 39, but it looks like it'll be the Cedar Valley 40-yard line. And just again, another powerful run through the middle. And this is one element, Chris, of the Spanish Fork offense that they really need is a good, powerful running game.
Yeah, they do, and that was a great job of blocking there, moving the guys on that defensive line and letting Reed get to the 2nd level there. So there was a huge hole that had developed on that play.
1st down and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. Should say on the Cedar Valley 40-yard line, as Spanish Fork has their opening drive of the ball game. Dart again, hands off. This is Joshua Buck, the backup tailback in there. He gets the carry.
Yeah, Joshua Buck, just a sophomore, so the Dons will have him for 3 full seasons here, backing up Reed this season.
Spanish Fork, one thing you'll see, the Dons are going to huddle. And last year we saw Spanish Fork huddle a little bit more. Well, I think last week I saw him huddle a little bit more than we've seen him in years past. But right here with Zach Dart ready to go from shotgun with 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, they still are spreading the ball out and running up the middle a little bit, so.
Here's a give again, and right now not going anywhere outside of the running game, as again they go to Buck on the carry. Getting in there on the tackle for Cedar Valley, number 45, Brian Vogel from the defensive line spot. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and medium here as Spanish Fork has a 3rd and 6.
And you're in 4-down territory, and they've brought Reed back in the game. So if they want to run it, I think they have that option available on this play as well.
And especially, Chris, you have to think about it. If they're getting 4 or 5 yards a carry, you'll take that 4th and 1 here at the high school level. Ready to go right here with 7:02 to go in the quarter. Back to throw, Dart looking down the sideline, one-on-one, looking for Morley Bennett. He's got it, touchdown, Spanish Fork. It's Dart to Morley Bennett for the 2nd time this year, and Spanish Fork has a 6-0 lead.
And that's exactly how you wanted to start out here if you're the Dons on offense, is setting up that deep pass there to Morley Bennett, who's able to haul it in. Great job by Dart finding him.
So a big-time touchdown there, as you see it on the Car Guys instant replay, and that's one way to get in the early conversation, Chris, for the MVP Sports MVP of the game, as we'll see Austin Stevenson come on to attempt the point after touchdown try.
And I believe that was the first pass the Dons had tried on that drive.
Extra point is good as well, and with 6:51 to play in the first quarter, it's a 7-0 lead for the Spanish Fork Dons here on Spanish Fork 17. And a big opportunity, Chris. We talked about momentum and how important it is right here to get off to a quick start, and right there, boy, just a quick strike right there. That's really a great way you want to see an offense start.
Yeah, it is for sure, and you take that momentum, get some confidence. Last week, Dart threw a couple of interceptions, and so, you know, probably have a few sleepless nights after throwing a couple interceptions. So that getting that confidence up and going's got to be huge for Dart early. And also, it was a tough loss last week for the Dons. They fought to the bitter end and happened to lose in double overtime in Cedar City.
Second straight year, Spanish Fork and Cedar City, I should say, has played. Both games have gone to overtime. Both games go to the Reds.
Yeah, that's a tough way to start your season, as both were season openers, but the Dons were able to bounce back and, and have, what they finish in the RPI, like 16th or something like that last year. So we'll have to see what they can do this year.
It'll be interesting to see how the RPI kind of goes this year as well. Second year through the system, and kind of see as Stevenson gets ready to kick it away for Spanish Fork. Parker Christensen back standing about his own half-yard line. And Christensen this time is not going to get a chance to return this one. In high school, if the kick goes into the end zone, it's an automatic touchback, and now we'll see Cedar Valley. And Chris, the Aviators found a way to move the football on their opening drive. They did a lot of good things. Just the end of the drive, kind of a stall and ending with a turnover doesn't work well a lot of times for an offense.
Yeah, and that pass was a jump by Hernandez. That was a pretty good play, but I think what really set the Aviators back was an ill-timed holding call that put them in that deep position. But they came out of the gates flying with the quick offense. We'll see if they have that kind of aggressiveness on this drive.
Here's the give. It's Maucia. He tries to get outside, gets the corner. He's going to have pretty close to him the first down. He's going to go out about a yard short. Maucia is going to pick up about 9.
Just a little short of the first down. I thought he had it, but there was a lot of traffic in between our view and where he went out of bounds. But great job going off tackle that time, being patient and waiting for those blocks to develop by Maucia.
Peyton Weber last week, 17 of 23 for 146 yards against Maple Mountain.
And 3 points for the whole team.
Here's a screen pass. They get it out one-on-one with the block. That's going to be a first down. Maucia's got it across the 40, but there's a penalty flag. And for the second time tonight, we'll get to hear from our official, the referee, Greg Barr, tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like it's probably going to be a hold. That would be my guess.
And that's going to be, those are the things that really can interrupt an offense, especially when you're trying to go fast. And we've kind of seen this evolution, Chris, from going from this kind of huddle every play kind of an offense to now, let's go quick, let's try to score, and let's get offense going.
And the result of that penalty is only 1 yard, but what really kills them is they were clear down near the 40.
So we'll bring up a second down and about 2 from the 28. Weber will go under center right here. And we have a whistle, and I think we're going to have a procedure call or a false start against Cedar Valley. And it will be an illegal procedure, which will move them back 5 more. And Chris, this is one thing that you and I have talked about multiple times, is when you get in that 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2 at the high school level, it's not an automatic first down, but more often than not, you're going to have a higher conversion rate. You start going 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, starts to get a lot more dicey.
Yeah, and then you're forced more to try and pick it up in the air here.
Back to throw, looking to put it out in the flat. That is complete. Out to Brennan Wolf, number 49. Wolf's going to have a first down, it looks like, across the 30. And a nice job by the Aviators, able to kind of move the chains here once again.
Yeah, and it's another little screen type pass where guy goes and blocks and then finds his way out into the flat, but picks up the first down. But that time, Peyton Weber really paid for it as he took a shot there by Darren Harrison.
Have to be careful too. That was kind of in that borderline area there of potential penalty. Back to throw here, pump fakes, and he goes down. The Two Jacks Pizza quarterback sack right there for Ulrich Tuogaige, got there, number 53.
Yeah, Tuogaige just beat his man. He's playing a little defensive tackle tonight and makes a huge stop there, and that brings up second and forever after looked like Cedar Valley had some momentum again on this drive. The Dons take it back and push them back a little bit.
So ball back to the 24, second down and 16 for Cedar Valley. Getting outside, it's Mausia again, and again, not much going on. He may have gotten a yard, but I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage. Tayson Reed getting there from his linebacker spot.
Yeah, not only is he a good running back, but he's a sure tackler. Reed is there, as I can't pronounce words all of a sudden.
You know, Chris, it's preseason for us after all. You know, we're all learning here on Spanish Fork 17. As we had last week off, now we're jumping into week 2 of the high school football season. But nonetheless, it's great to be back with everybody once again for another season of high school football here on Spanish Fork 17. Back to throw. Weber's going to step up. Now he's going to throw. He's got a man out there, and it's just out of the reach of number 17, Lucas Peck, right there. And boy, that had big play written all over it for the Aviators.
Yeah, and it looked like Lucas Peck kind of slowed down midway through the route, and then he realized, oh no, the ball's coming my way, and he just was overthrown a little bit. If he'd have kept going, he might have gotten there. But great stop by the Dons, and they'll get the ball back with the 7-0 lead here.
4th down and 15. It will be number 24. That's Kyler Terry back to punt for Cedar Valley. Back deep to receive. It's going to be McKay Perry and Cade Olson. It's going to be Olson to the bottom of your screen at home, and he's got some green in front of him. A penalty flag comes in as he crosses the Cedar Valley 40, and this one kind of in the area of a block in the back or maybe a hold against the Dons.
I saw a Cedar Valley Aviator jersey being kind of torn. The official probably saw the same thing, so I think it's going to be a hold. So, you know, it's hard when you're trying to stay in front of somebody and maybe they shift a little bit. Sometimes your natural reaction as a blocker is to grab that jersey, but if you get a handful jersey, they're going to call that every time.
So it'll be interesting to see here as we get a 1st and 10 Spanish Fork. Instead of, though, them being in plus territory, they're going to be back at their own 43-yard line. Still great field position, though, for the Dons, who ended their first drive with a long touchdown pass from Dart to Morley Bennett.
Yeah, we'll see if they can capitalize on that defensive stop here and get a double-digit lead.
1st down and 10, ball on the 43-yard line right here for Spanish Fork with 4 wide receivers. They'll send one in motion, and they'll fake the handoff. Dart in trouble, and right there trying to still stay alive, and now they're going to blow it dead back at the 29-yard line. Getting there was number, I believe, is that 45, Brian Vogel getting there?
Yeah, Brian Vogel got there. The Aviator football coaching staff gave us kind of a depth chart for our television announcer, and they forgot Vogel, their main guy, getting a sack there.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 19 coming up right here for Spanish Fork. So a loss of 9 as the clock runs under 5 minutes to play here in the 1st quarter.
I wonder if it's a tough situation now. The Dons are almost forced to pass here.
Right up the middle, there is a carry for Josh Buck. He breaks a tackle, and there's a penalty flag, however. He got a good gain back, but we'll have to wait to see the penalty flag right here, most likely in the area of a hold.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it's in that area, and it was down on, you could see it at the bottom of your screen there as the Dons have another penalty where they grab a jersey and hold.
So we'll bring it back 10 more and makes it 2nd and really long. And this is one spot where I know Maple Mountain last week, their first play from scrimmage, they were able to really, with Tyler Nelson, be able to throw the ball. So this might be a position where we see maybe Spanish Fork's going to have to take a chance down the field right here, Chris.
Yeah, and Maple Mountain lived by the deep ball and died by the deep ball. Tyler Nelson went 10 for 20. 5 touchdown passes, though. So half of his completions were touchdown passes. That's crazy.
We'll see Maple Mountain in a couple of weeks here on Spanish Fork 17. It's 2nd and 29. Dart back to throw. Steps up and throws that one incomplete over the middle. He took a hit right as he got ready to deliver that pass right there. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 29.
Yeah, I believe that was Carson Proctor that rocked him that time. And not a big advocate of punting on 3rd down, but maybe you want to cut your loss here. I'm joking, of course, but man, this has not gone well for the Dons.
Kind of completely flipped from the first drive of the game for Spanish Fork, where they just went right down the field and then found a way to get a big play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just been sack, penalty type drive here. It's only the 3rd play, but it seems like it's been 5 or 6.
3rd down and 29, and they will run it right up the middle with Joshua Buck. He'll get a yard, maybe 2, and then he runs into the heart of that defensive line for Cedar Valley. And it will bring up a 4th down and really long, and Spanish Fork will bring on Austin Stevenson to punt.
And going back for the Aviators is number 13, Parker Christensen. Aviators should have really good field position here depending on how this punt goes.
Stevenson inside his own 10. He's standing at about his own 9-yard line. Parker Christensen's gone back to his own 35.
I believe this drive started at the 43-yard line here of the Dons, and they just went straight back.
A low line drive punt. It's going to take a nice Spanish Fork bounce past Christensen, who then just kind of stays away. I think he was tempted to go pick it up at first. So it will work out well for the Dons defensively. They'll pin Cedar Valley back to about the 32-yard line. But, Chris, this is a dangerous Cedar Valley team, and we've seen the Aviators find a way to move the ball so far.
Yeah, they've moved it well. On that first drive, they were really clicking. They got in a rhythm there where they were completing every pass. They were hurrying up to the line of scrimmage, and, you know, I think it was one penalty really stopped their momentum. So if you're Spanish Fork, you've got to disrupt that timing, because once Cedar Valley gets out of that rhythm, they seem to struggle a little bit.
1st and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. And pressure comes right away, and that one's just going to be thrown to the sidelines. Runs out of bounds, or not runs out of bounds, runs towards the sideline and just let that one get across the line of scrimmage. Now bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and he rolled to the right, but all his receivers were to the left, so he only had one option that was well covered on that side. Like Masui, I don't know what he did. He came down in motion to the near side of your screen and was completely almost on the Don sideline.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10, ball on the 33-yard line. Here for Cedar Valley, the Aviators, their 3rd drive here of the quarter. Looking to try to see if they can get some offense going here so far. 7-0 lead for Spanish Fork here on Spanish Fork 17. High snap, and now this is going to be a broken play. Weber's just going to try to get what he can, and he'll end up getting about 3, maybe 4. And a late penalty flag comes in, and Cedar Valley may end up getting about 15 more added onto this one right here. We'll have to see what the call is. But, Chris, that works out pretty well if you're Cedar Valley for a broken play.
Yeah, it does turn out really well there. I mean, once again, they've lined up in a really tight formation there with a couple of tight ends, 2 running backs. And I think Cedar Valley's looked better when they've spread the field, but they'll pick up the 1st down on the penalty here.
Penalty added right here with 2:50 to play in the first quarter. Here is in southern Utah County at Spanish Fork. It is very smoky out if you look around the mountains here. You can't see it on your screen too far. Well, so far here anyway. Down here on the field it's fine, but 1st and 10. Once again, they'll send their running back to the very kind of bottom of your screen. Pressure comes. They throw it up one-on-one. Back shoulder throw for Noah Burnham. Did he get it in bounds? The sideline sounds like it is, but I think it's going to be incomplete at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that's the 2nd time. They're really wanting to set up a one-on-one play, I guess, on that far side of your screen there, because all the receivers are down to the near side and quarterback rolls out to the right.
It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 here for Cedar Valley. They're on their own 49-yard line, approaching midfield here.
Now they go with no wide receivers. They have really gone with multiple formations here as they've got 2 fullbacks.
Here's a give right up the middle. That's going to be enough for a couple of yards. Still driving his way ahead is Soai Saga there.
Yeah, they hand it to one of the fullback Sagas. They had 2 that play, and the up back gets them about half of what they need.
So a nice pickup there, and now makes it a 3rd and manageable, Chris. And this is what we've talked about often. If you can put yourself in a position to get a 3rd and short or a 3rd and manageable, it puts you in a lot better position to win the game.
Absolutely, and they spread it out here with a completely new formation.
Again, you see Mausia, number 5, go in motion. Back to throw, looking down, one-on-one over the top, has Noah Burnham. That's caught inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Aviators. And Cedar Valley strikes back with a 46-yard touchdown pass of their own from Weber to Burnham.
Yeah, and once again, they line up everybody on the near side of the field. It's one-on-one coverage, Burnham versus Pepper, and that time Burnham wins. Pepper won the other 2 battles. So I guess whatever Cedar Valley was setting up there on that one-on-one really paid off as they end up getting 6 points and have an opportunity to tie this one up.
The officials are over talking about something. I don't see a penalty flag anywhere, or at least that I can see. There's one on the 11-yard line. You can't see it in your screen right there, but it's right over towards the sideline, and we'll see what it's going to be. It looks like it's an unsport. I don't know if it's an
sideline warning. I don't know.
I saw that it's against Spanish, or I think it's against Cedar Valley. I think they pointed back against the offense, and now we'll see unsportsmanlike conduct, Cedar Valley. And this is a big penalty here. Touchdown will be good, but Chris, this now brings the extra point to tie the game back quite a ways. And a missed extra point in high school football, Chris, we've been here before to see it where a missed extra point can kind of change the game.
Yeah, it's 28-25, Orem versus Spanish Fork, 3 missed extra points a few years. I mean, we could go on with multiple games.
Holman there gets that one far to the right, and he missed it, and Spanish Fork will regain the lead. The Dons got fortunate last week in being able to find a way. They're late in that game against the Reds down there, Chris. They got a missed short field goal and then a blocked field goal there, where the Reds could have potentially won that game in regulation.
Yeah, that's crazy how that happens sometimes. But yeah, that missed extra point, as you're pointing out, could be huge. And let's give a big shout out to our sponsors who are sponsoring high school football here on Channel 17. We have the car guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group, Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, attorneys at law, and the Driggs Mortgage Team. Hey, thanks guys for sponsoring this game, and we got a lot more exciting high school football coming your way this season.
Next week, we'll be right back here at Spanish Fork High School. It will be the Desert Hills Thunder making the trip up from St. George. That's going to be a long trip for the Thunder. That'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff here at Spanish Fork. And the Dons will look to try to see. And then, Chris, the week after that, we're into Region 8 play already. So season goes by really quick when we get into Region 8 play.
Yeah, it does. And dropping out of Region 8 play this year is Payson, who's going independent. But don't worry, the Dons still play him later on this season.
Back deep will be McKay Perry, number 5, and number 3, Kate Olson. Elijah Holman, number 31, will get ready to kick it away for the Aviators. Minute 58 to go here in quarter number 1. And Holman puts this one over towards the sideline and into the end zone for a touchback. And Spanish Fork will come out here to see. And Chris, we've seen kind of polar opposites from the Spanish Fork offense. We've seen when they've been really effective with the running game. We've seen at times when we've seen kind of a more penalized version of the Dons. And so far tonight, you like the offense when it's been well, but those penalties have really hurt Spanish Fork.
Yeah, and I think that first drive they came out running, and, you know, second drive they came out trying to throw it. So I wonder if we're going to see the ground and pound game here with the Dons. But either way, they're going to spread it out Aaron, looks like we have a new quarterback in there. I can't see the number on.
It will be number 14. That is going to be more of a wildcat look, and I think the ball may have come loose, but he fell right back on it. That is Jacob Turagavo there on the. I apologize for the pronunciation right there. I talked with a couple of the coaches before the game on that, and nonetheless, we'll bring up second down in about 11.
I'm just going to call him by his first name, Jacob, to be safe here. Jacob stays in here for second down.
Bring up second down and 11 right here. Man goes in motion right here. And we'll see a give and a penalty right away. And I think this is going to be a potential illegal procedure call right here.
Another huge penalty. That's 4 or 5 here on the Dons in the quarter, and that's not how you want to start out the first quarter.
So instead of a second and 11, Chris, you put it back to second and 16.
Second and 16, and the Dons haven't gained a positive yard since that touchdown to open up the game.
Turagavo back in there at quarterback. Back to throw here. Now he's going to step up and try to create something. Looking towards the sideline here, takes off. He's going to pick up close to the first down right there. It's going to be depending on where the mark is.
And great speed by Tuagava that time as he gets, looks like he's dead in the water, but outruns the defensive end no problem and gets close to that first down marker.
Turagavo there getting very close.
Don't think he got the best spot though. As it's third and they still have 5 to go here. I thought he made it a little further than that as I was watching the Car Guys instant replay.
Back to throw here, puts this one right to Cade Olson. Olson makes a couple of men miss. It's going to be close though. They're
going to give it to him.
And looks like he's right around the 31, needed the 30. That's enough, just barely for a first down.
It just gets it there. I don't think he did. He got there right in the nick of time. Great job by our SFCN camera crew picking up that shot for us, showing that he got the first down.
22 seconds to play here in the quarter. We'll see if they get one more play off. I guess they'll have to because there's 11 on the play clock here. 2 receivers to the top. I formation set. Give straight up the middle, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be Tayson Reed back in the game. A helmet came off, though. As Reed's going to have a few yards there, and that will end the first quarter. So we've reached the end of 1 on Spanish Fork 17. Don 7, Aviators 6. It's high school football on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney.
So a second down play goes a little hook pass to Cade Olson, who comes up about a yard short. It'll be a 3rd and 1 for the Dons here with 11:53 to play here in the second quarter. 7-6 lead for the Dons on top of the Cedar Valley Aviators.
I'm trying to look to see if something happened to Dart or where he's at. I don't see him on the sideline.
Reed has that, and that's going to be enough for a first down across the 45 out to about the 48-yard line. A nice pickup right there for Tayson Reed, and that's one way to take the pressure off your quarterback a little bit there, Chris, is get to a running game. And let's take a moment here to get to our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game.
Yeah, so it's tough. We're in our preseason, so I came up with some pretty general keys to the game, but the first one's to hustle the ball on defense. If you swarm and tackle well, it creates turnovers, and it's really tough to do that against Cedar Valley as they're spreading the ball around and using the whole field. Also, Dons to limit turnovers. They had a couple huge ones last week, and then win the red zone, because when you're able to win in the red zone on both sides, you get points on the board and you prevent them from getting points. But unfortunately, we got an injury down on the field.
It's number 2 down for Cedar Valley. That's Garrett Patton, a safety. The Spanish Fork will come over. We talk about a couple of different elements that you're not used to seeing, maybe that you might see right now. The option to go to a longer timeouts, a potential for 2-minute timeouts, not just with the time of year it is, where it's August and you want to make sure you get plenty of water and things like that, but also just to kind of make sure everything's going well with all the preventative measures surrounding COVID-19 and things like that.
Yeah, and all sorts of extra sanitations needing to happen. We want to have a full season, so they're trying to keep it as safe as possible while trying to get back to what we're calling, I guess, the new norm.
So bring up a second down and about 7 when we get back to play right here. And we saw a little bit last week, just kind of getting in the run of things, where games, it looked like to me anyway, games were going a little bit longer than what we'd seen in the last couple of years. But again, a longer game, but a safer environment. Safer environment's going to win out.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as we can keep everybody safe and keep playing, I think it'll be an exciting high school football season, and that's what we're all hoping for.
Ready to go right here. Second down and 7 with 4 wide receivers for the Dons. Turrigalvo back to throw. Hits Morley Bennett. That one is going to be complete. Going to be a couple of yards short, down to about the 44-yard line or so.
And Morley Bennett with a huge touchdown catch to open this ball game up here for the Dons, and I think that's his second completion of the evening.
It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 2 or so. And you'd have to think this might be Tayson Reed time right here to see what he can do to get a first down.
And not going to gain too much by punting, so definitely you have 2 cracks here possibly.
3rd down and 3 with 4 wide receivers. Here's the give to Reed. He gets outside, has enough for the first down inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And Spanish Fork will move the chains here with 10:42 to play in the quarter.
Yeah, no problem there for Reed as he follows his blockers, uses his strength to get a couple more yards after contact, and the Dons are in business.
First down and 10. Ball will be at the Cedar Valley 39-yard line.
And well, what's really hurt the Dons on a couple of drives here, or on their second drive, was just penalties. So we'll see if they can keep it clean the rest of this drive and get some points.
Back to throw with some time. They'll set up the screen pass to Reed. That one overthrown and then bobbled up in the air, and almost getting to it was Grant Salter, number 1, from his safety spot. Just a dangerous pass right there.
So I see something interesting on the Cedar Valley roster. They have a number 0. I know they're allowing number 0 in college football. Are they also doing it here in high school, or did they just not figure out what his number was?
You know, I'm not sure right there with that. I know sometimes you'll see guys change numbers to get a eligible offensive number potentially.
And also play offensive line, yeah.
Rolling out, looking towards now and just taking off. It's going to be a first down inside the 30 to about the 27. As
Jacob Turvalgo
gets enough for a first down.
Man, he is quick. I apologize, I wish I could say his name right, but man, he's got some wheels in the open space, and he's a lefty. You gotta love it when your quarterback's a lefty.
It's going to be a first down right here for the Dons as they're coming inside the 30-yard line, knocking on the door of our Driggs Mortgage team red zone. Back to throw with some time. Pressure steps up. There's a completion, and that's, I believe, Morley Bennett looking to get the corner to the 10. Still on his feet inside the 5 to about the 2. The ball came out, but went immediately out of bounds. A dangerous spot to lose the football, but it'll be first and goal Dons, and they're in the Driggs Mortgage team red zone.
Yeah, great job by Bennett using his moves, his agility, his shiftiness to get a few extra yards after catching the ball. It nearly gets in the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. Instead, they're probably setting themselves up for a little read time.
So it'll be first down and goal from the 1. And definitely a power look coming here from the Dons. Feliua in there as the fullback. It's Reed in. Touchdown, Spanish Fork.
And Spanish Fork increases their lead by another 6 with the PAT pending. And great job of having a horrible drive and then coming back with this one to get 6 points is night and day. The 2 drives Spanish Fork have scored on, and they've looked fantastic. That one drive looked like a complete disaster, so we'll see if they can keep it up.
So a big touchdown right there to increase their lead, and now a chance to really put some pressure on Cedar Valley to make sure that they have, Cedar Valley at some point would have to get 2. Stevenson on for the extra point. Snap good, hold good, kick is good as well. And with 7:56 to play in the first half, Spanish Fork has increased their lead out to 14-6 here in the second quarter. We want to thank our sponsors of many local businesses who have kind of been able to do hopefully well throughout this through everything that's been going on. Of course, we didn't have a baseball season here on Spanish Fork 17, or really at the high school level. We were able to bring some games to you from the last chance tournament back in June, but we really appreciate our sponsors sticking around and being able for us to be able to kind of extend everything through our football season. We thank our sponsors so much for everything that they do to allow us to be able to promote the athletic events here at Spanish Fork High School and also at Maple Mountain High School.
Absolutely, and also you can catch these games and other content provided by Spanish Fork 17 on the YouTube channel. Hopefully some of you are catching it on YouTube. Leave us a comment and how great Ryan is and how mediocre Chris is on the YouTube channel there.
You know, I think it's just important, Chris, we do the very best that we can. And, you know, the athletes, let them tell the story, and hopefully we're just guiding them. Here is Stevenson, kicks this one about 8 yards deep, and when I mean guiding, I mean hopefully we're just kind of getting the story out there a little bit.
I'm just along for the ride. It's I've been with Spanish Fork Cable for 10 years now, so I've really enjoyed working here. It's been an awesome experience. I'm a dinosaur. I remember when the dinosaurs were playing the Dons.
Just because I keep a log at home of every game I broadcast. Chris, I don't think you can probably guess the number, what this broadcast is for me here on Spanish Fork 17. I'll let you think about it for a couple minutes.
All right, well, give me a drive. I'll come back with an answer.
So here come the Aviators right here. Ball on the 20-yard line. And they're going to go back to a power run game. Here is Mausia. Penalty flag comes in. And Mausia going to get it there across the 20-yard to the 24-yard line. Macia, sorry.
Yeah, and Cedar Valley's probably going to have a hold here. And they've also had a drive where they scored, and really what's hurt them as well on their offensive drives is that huge interception and then penalties as well.
The tough part for Cedar Valley is the Aviators, even last week in that game against Maple Mountain, they were able to move the ball. They just had some drives that stalled.
Yeah, and it's that they came out on fire, but it just doesn't seem like they have the same energy. I don't know if it was just adrenaline and now that's kind of worn off, or the fact that they're huddling, but they just don't seem to be in the same rhythm as when they started this game off.
It's going to be 1st and 20 coming up right here. 7:34 to play here in the first half. 5 seconds on the play clock. They'll get it off. Screen pass out to Noah Burnham. Burnham has the touchdown earlier, and here he'll get to about the 11-yard line, 10, 11-yard line or so.
Yeah, so that brings up a 2nd and a mile still. So, yeah, the Aviators have done good on those short passes in space and then have their guy break a tackle or make a move in open space to get yards. But they really, outside of that touchdown pass, haven't taken too many shots downfield.
2nd down and 18 with 7:01 to play here in the second quarter. Spanish Fork an opportunity, Chris. This could flip the entire course of the game in the sense of a stop and get the ball back in good field position. And there's a completion over the middle. And that is going to be Johnston again, number 6.
Yeah, and Worthen brings him down, and that is a big tackle by Worthen there. Because if he doesn't make it, Johnston, you know, is possibly off to the races, or at least getting 5 or 6 more yards.
And puts him in a 3rd down and about 11 right here. 3rd, maybe 12. They're going to have to probably look to throw here. They need to get to the 30 to get a fresh set of downs. Pressure comes. They're taking a shot. Has a man out there, and that pass is going to be complete out to number 17, Lucas Peck. And then I think there's a penalty flag, though, back in the backfield.
I don't know if it was a late hit. I was watching the pass, but this could be huge if it's on the Dons here as a late hit, or it looks like maybe it's a hold. Both teams unsure where to go, so I'm not sure what the penalty is.
I know they were pointing somewhere, but I don't know if they were pointing offensively or defensively. It looks like it's going to be against Spanish Fork. And it's going to be a personal foul, late hit, or sorry, roughing the passer against the Dons.
So they pick up about 30 on the pass. They get another 15 on the penalty. They'll be down inside the Dons 35.
And just one note, too, a sideline warning against Cedar Valley. And so now it's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line for for Cedar Valley on the Spanish Fork 33. Chris?
A lot of 3 there. And they're spurting it out here. We'll see if the Dons can make a play here.
Back to throw, looking down the sideline, has a man out there just out of the reach of E.J. Larson, number 81. And that will bring up 2nd down and 10. But we've seen Cedar Valley, Chris, really want to take a chance with those one-on-one routes.
Yeah, and they're always fade routes. They're kind of receivers fading out. And I think they try and lull the Dons to sleep by going short, 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 and then throwing a couple long passes in here.
2nd down and 10, 6:09 to play here in the second quarter. Here's a give up the middle to Macia, and Macia there is going to lose a yard or 2 back to the 35.
That brings up 3rd and about 15.
So again, another 3rd and long pass situation most likely coming.
And they definitely can get a step sometimes, and they really have been. They got 2 receivers each side. They've been bunching 3 up on one side and then going to the one-on-one coverage, but this time they've got it split.
Pressure comes again, hit as he throws. That pass almost intercepted. 2 Dons collide, and you have to think there, if the 2 Dons don't collide, Jeffrey Hernandez may have had his 2nd pick of the night.
It was great coverage by Harrison. Unfortunately, it was on Hernandez that time, and Cedar Valley dodges a bullet. Maybe. That was almost as good as a punt, though.
I'll bring up 4th down and about 14 coming up.
And no reason to punt here, so Cedar Valley lines up to go for it.
They need to get down to about the 22-yard line or so. Weber rolling out, looking down the field, has a man out there. That one again tipped by Hernandez again. All tipped in the direction of the receiver, Johnston, but that one falls incomplete. Brings up 4th down.
Oh, and Jeffrey Hernandez has 1 interception and is so close to getting his 2nd one. He had 2 opportunities at the end of the drive. But you know what? The Dons end up with better field position because he dropped him. So brings up a 1st and 10 here for the Dons, and we'll see. We still have Tua Tagovailoa in as quarterback.
Ready to go right here. 1st and 10 for the Dons. 14-6 Spanish Fork. A touchdown here before the end of the half could really extend this Dons lead and put a lot of pressure on Cedar Valley. Here's a straight quarterback draw play up the middle, and that's going to work for about 5 or 6 yards on 1st down.
And that's really been a great option for the Dons, is the quarterback running the ball. And that one was a design run that time.
Brings up 2nd and 4. 4:55 to play here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, 14-6. If the Dons can, have a 4-minute drive here, take most of the time off and get that touchdown, they'll get the ball to start the 2nd half. It really could blow this game wide open.
With the potential for Cedar Valley's offense, I don't know how comfortable you're going to be with a touchdown here, but Morley Bennett breaks free, and he's looking for the end zone. Pulled down from behind by number 1, Grant Salter. A big play right there, and that's definitely going to help make things a little more comfortable. Because, Chris, a touchdown lead, I don't think you're comfortable right now if you're Spanish Fork.
No, you're not. And but Morley is balling out tonight as he's made multiple catches. But the thing that he's done on his last 2 big catches is running after he catches it. And that time he was nearly gone. If it wasn't for Salter's speed, he would have got 6 points for the Dons.
Would have been Bennett's 2nd touchdown of the night.
I'm going to predict that he's getting his 2 touchdowns tonight.
Reed up the middle. He's looking for his 2nd as well. He's brought down inside the 10. Again, it's Grant Salter from his safety spot to make the tackle.
And Reed's having himself a good ball game as well. He's got a touchdown, and he's picked up some tough yards in the middle. Tough thing about running is when you got a single back shotgun formation, you don't usually have a tight end. So it's 5 on 6 sometimes, and you got to make a man miss.
We saw Tayson Reed make some great runs last year in really some tough spots, Chris, kind of like you talked about. Spanish Fork didn't use a tight end as much as we might see it this year. Cade Olson on the reverse, looking for the end zone, stretching out. Did he get in? And he's going to be short. There's a penalty flag back around the 6.
Yeah, Cade Olson had a heck of a season last year. Gets nearly around the corner. He's got great speed as well, and I think I saw where the penalty came in on our Car Guys instant replay there.
I have a feeling this one's going to be pushing back against the Dons right there, but we'll have to wait and see. And definitely it is against Spanish Fork, because you see Greg Barr, our referee there, make the call. He's the one there wearing the white hat.
There's been a lot of holding calls, but every time they've called it, I've actually been able to see it. I haven't seen too many phantom ones, and that one was very obvious that time on the right side of the field, or of your screen.
2nd down and 10. Ball coming at. Ball will be placed on the 15-yard line here. 3:21 to play in the 1st half. Both teams with 3 timeouts. That's one thing to keep in mind when it comes to the time of possession. But Chris, looking at the Cedar Valley Aviators, you see some guys already here in the 2nd quarter, hands on their hips, and this is one thing you're gonna wonder here. This year, you can only travel 50 guys, and we're gonna have a timeout Spanish Fork here with 3:21 to play right here. And that's that's an important thing here. We talked about the state implementing their rules, including like a 50-man travel roster. The NFHS, though, who really does a lot of their high school rules at a national level, they had 3 that were really important this year, and sportsmanship was put at the top, and that's going from everywhere, from fans, from players to coaches, public address announcers, and everything right there. Intentional grounding, and Chris, they said something quite interesting in the post. They said that was one of the most misunderstood rules, period, was intentional grounding.
And it's different at every level, so I'm not exactly sure what the high school rules are, but yeah, sometimes you see a quarterback just no receiver in the area, hasn't gotten out of the tackle box, and it doesn't get caught, but it looks like you came prepared with what it is.
Oh, definitely, Chris. So this is just from their website. And it talked about intentional grounding is a foul whenever a legal forward pass is thrown into an area not occupied by an eligible receiver, or when a pass is thrown to prevent a loss of yardage, or to conserve time. So it's kind of interesting that they're kind of reading through. And the third one is the ineligible man downfield, or line of scrimmage formation penalty. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye out on those this year. Here come the Dons right up the middle again. Is with a quarterback keeper is going to be the
Tagavoa, and then he was just met by Evans that time. That was a grown man tackle there by Evans as he made sure he was that Tagavoa was going nowhere.
And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, 3rd and 11 here. It looks like it might be time for Morley. Olsen is also down there by Morley on the far side of your screen.
This will be an interesting situation right here. Back to throw, having a look to the end zone, rolling there. Now coming back to the other side. It's nothing but Green if he can get the corner. Tua Tagovailoa to the end zone. Is he in? Touchdown, Dons! Right there.
Yeah, great cutback that time by Tua Tagovailoa as he beats him to the end. Looks like he's going to get stopped, and then he just cuts it, turns his jets on, and dives in the end zone for 6.
And that's quite the rushing attack right there. And a nice job there for the Dons. I didn't think he was going to get in, but that last cutback right there really is what kind of changed things right there. Without that cutback, Chris, he wouldn't have gotten in.
Yeah, great position by Vogel, number 45, to make the tackle, but just didn't have the brakes to keep up with Tua Tagovailoa as he gets around and makes that cut. That was beautiful, Ryan.
Extra point on for Stevenson. The kick is up, and it is good. And it's a 21-6 lead right now for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, 21-6, and nothing but Dons in the second quarter here as they've outscored Cedar Valley 14-0.
Good opportunity here with 2 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the first half. A 20-6 lead coming up at the half. We'll have the halftime show here for you from Spanish Fork High School. We'll recap our Triple T heating, cooling, and plumbing keys to the game. And we'll check some scores from throughout Region 8. I know Maple Mountain, they're up at Pleasant Grove tonight, taking on the Vikings. So,
yeah, and big shout out to our sponsors here. You can see them on our screen as well. Maple Mountain going up to PG. That's probably an RPI play. Even if you lose that game, it's probably not going to hurt you in the overall RPI standing since they're a higher classification.
So we'll kind of see Maple Mountain having, this might be one of the best teams Brad Burtonshaw's had in the last 10, 11 years here, or during his tenure, I should say, at Maple Mountain. He's the only coach the Golden Eagles have had.
Yeah, Nelson, Bess, Hall, that is quite the passing attack they've got going on this season.
Austin Stevenson kicks this one away. It's going to go short. This one will be returnable for Parker Christensen. He's up across the 25, out to close to the 30-yard line or so. And not a bad field position right there for Cedar Valley. And you have to think right here, Chris, that Cedar Valley is in a position where the Aviators really need to try to find a way to try to get a touchdown. And we'll have to see how new Spanish Fork head coach Dustin Smith plays this. Every coach is a little bit different, but you have to think if you get into a 3rd and long situation, Spanish Fork might try to use a timeout and try to score again before the half.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation. I'm a big fan of, hey, if you've got the momentum on defense, use those timeouts to get the ball back.
Here's a give right up the middle. right there on first down. That is A.J. Lindsey, the junior running back.
And it looks like Cedar Valley changing up, running. I thought for sure they were going to come out gunning, but this Cedar Valley team is designed for the 2-minute drill.
Back to throw with some time. Looking downfield, has a man open in the middle. That's complete. Believe that's Carter Johnston, number 6. And that's going to be complete to the Spanish Fork 40-yard line. And now an injury, it looks like, as he went down after the play.
He kind of stumbled, and it looks like his foot his cleat got caught because he went down awkward right after he caught it, even before he got hit. So hopefully, I'm almost calling it a non-contact injury, and those sometimes can be worse than contact injuries. Of course, all injuries are bad, but didn't look good nonetheless, poor kid.
Well, it's just so interesting, Chris, because you don't think about all the little, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but you think about all the little muscles in your body that can just, the slightest motion that just throws them off, and all of a sudden, boy, you got a major injury.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with ligaments and stuff like that, they tear too easy. I don't know, but hopefully he's all right and it's nothing serious. Maybe it's a cramp. It's kind of how they're stretching him out.
Yeah, and that would definitely kind of make sense how he kind of went down awkwardly at the end of the play. But we'll have to kind of wait and see. And that's one thing, Chris, we haven't talked about right here as we approach 8 o'clock here in Spanish Fork. It's the month of August. It's 86 degrees, and my phone's telling me it's smoky here in Spanish Fork. Not cloudy, not, partly sunny. It's just smoky.
I mean, we have the dry heat here, so we don't sweat as much, but still, it's pretty hot outside. I'm sweating here in the booth. I'm not even moving. I'm just standing next to you, but Johnston's up and walking under his power. That is a great sign there. So.
Yeah, it kind of looks similar to a cramp. Next week, another fun matchup here on Spanish Fork 17. The Dons are back at home, and the Desert Hills Thunder will make a trip up to here to Spanish Fork. We've made the opposite trip for baseball before, Chris, down to Desert Hills a couple of times. So it'd be kind of fun to have the Thunder come up here. They're just a couple of years removed from having an opportunity to play deep into the playoffs, and so we'll see what the Thunder bring next week here to Spanish Fork. Back to action here once again. A.J. Lindsey through the middle of the defense. Lindsey will pick up 3, maybe 4 yards.
And the Dons, back to the schedule, have loaded up on 4A teams. You got to make those wins, or it can hurt you where you're going to start in the playoffs.
Every game counts in the playoffs, as we'll see the first RPI rankings here in a few weeks, as that one's going to be complete, close to the marker, may have lost a yard or two by that extra cutback.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if they should just get rid of the regions if they're going to do this and just kind of rotate through some of the schools that are closer to you, that are in the same classification, but I don't see the point in having a region.
A.J. Lindsey again on the carry, and he's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up 4th down and about 3, maybe 4. Timeout called right here, and I don't know. I would imagine Spanish Fork would be the team that called it. We haven't, I don't think, got it. It's going to be a timeout called, I'm sorry, by Cedar Valley.
Trying to conserve some clock. There's 59 seconds here. So their play is, hey, if we get this 4th down, we don't want time running off after that run. So I guess good timeout there, and we'll see what the Dons come up with here on defense, but a huge 4th down and 2 for the Aviators, where if they don't, I mean, the Dons get the ball to start the second half, so you don't want to go into half realizing, hey, we're not going to get the ball to start with, and we're down 2 touchdowns. So I think Cedar Valley, it's critical for them to pick it up and at least get a field goal attempt here on this drive.
That's when 2 scores, Chris, can become 3, maybe 4 really quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with the way a couple of guys on the Spanish Fork offense, if you're the Cedar Valley Aviators, you have to be thinking, we really don't want to give them the football with 2 timeouts left.
And the Dons have found their rhythm. Well, really, this whole game they played well outside of a few penalties and a sack, but Dons have owned Cedar Valley. Don's offense has owned Cedar Valley's defense.
Back to throw, looking down towards the sideline here. Has a man out there. It's going to be caught. Making the catch is going to be number 17, Lucas Peck.
Yeah, two great things happened on that play for Cedar Valley. One, they picked up the first down. Two, they got out of bounds to stop the clock. So, yeah, 53 seconds here and a new set of downs.
Working just outside our Driggs Mortgage Team red zone. Here's an option play. Keeping it is Weber. He's now inside the 20, which will put Cedar Valley in the Driggs Mortgage Team red zone.
And it's time for the Dons defense to stop him here and try and limit it to a field goal attempt.
A field goal attempt still keeps it a 2-score game. Back to throw. Weber steps up and goes down back at the 20. Getting there was number 87. That is Isaac Solis there, the 6-foot senior getting there from his nose tackle spot.
Yeah, great job by Solis battling that defensive lineman, forcing Cedar Valley to use another timeout here and just putting them in a tough situation. Great job for a 2-jack sack.
So now at 27 seconds here. The good news if you're Cedar Valley is, Chris, it puts you in a little bit nicer position for a field goal opportunity. Because now, I mean, in the high school game, unlike college, and I mean, I guess even really in the college game, you start getting outside the 30, it starts to become really tough. But at the high school level, 30 yards kind of becomes the max for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and really, you got to get inside the 15 for probably the average median team. Some teams, Maple Mountain, we've seen them have some kickers in the past where, yeah, as long as you get inside the 30, you got a chance of getting 3 points. But kicking game can be skittish, but I'll tell you what, it's gotten better. When I was in high school, it was a lot more iffy than it is now. So football level here in Utah has definitely increased year over year as time has gone by.
I know this year, especially a lot of kids from out of the state transferring in to play football this year, with a lot of the neighboring states around Utah not playing high school football. A big 3rd and 8 for Cedar Valley. Back to throw, looking towards the sidelines. Weber, that is going to be caught. That is going to be Peck on the catch. But Lucas Peck will be short of the marker. It's going to be 4th down. The clock's still running. So it makes me wonder, Cedar Valley now calls a timeout with 12 seconds on the clock. But you have to think they let probably close to 10 seconds, Chris, run off that clock.
Yeah, some discussion there, and maybe if you're going to kick the field goal, you might as well let the time run off. But great tackle that time by Harrison on Lucas. So all sorts of stuff going on, Ryan. I'm just way too excited for high school football, and I'm all over the place. So
it's definitely been, you know, I was thinking about it. I usually broadcast some college baseball here in the local area, and that got ended like 5 games into our broadcast schedule this year. So this is the first time I've done a broadcast, Chris, since March. You go beyond that, I haven't done anything since our last football game, Maple Mountain against Bountiful last year in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and I've been fortunate to keep my job during this COVID situation, but I've been working in my basement, which has been a challenge because you're used to that human interaction. And then when my kids went back to school, I'm like, holy cow, it is way too quiet for me to be working. So it's been an interesting couple of months here. I just hope all of our viewers are doing well and are safe.
4th down and 4 coming up right here. Now kind of making some changes at the line. We'll see what they do. A couple of guys go in motion. Here's a pitch. It's going to be Macia throwing to the end zone. Has a man that's caught. Is he in?
He's not.
He's going to be down to about the 1-yard line with 6 seconds.
They got to spike the ball, and there's a penalty.
There's a penalty flag, and I think in some, what I don't know, Chris, is there's not a 10-second runoff on that, right?
I guess we're going to find out. I don't know. All sorts of stuff going. If this is on the Dons, so I think it'll stop the clock. Let's see if it's some sort of late hit.
If he pitches it, though, it's roughing the passer. They're trying to say it looks like he made helmet to helmet against Spanish Fork, but I always thought if he pitched it, then that kind of ended it, but maybe that's at a different level.
It is, and so not sure if the clock's going to start after this penalty. I think it will.
And Spanish Fork, I think the Dons may use a timeout here, Chris, with 6 seconds.
Well,
here.
This is huge because it's pretty much, you've got unless you're throwing the ball, you've got one shot with 6 seconds if you're running it. You know, if you're passing it and it's incomplete, you got 1.5 shots. You know, sometimes one, sometimes two, depending on how long the play takes to develop.
Yeah,
so I'm curious to see what they do.
Well, and that's just the thing is because, and you have to think too, that depends on where you run it. With the way Cedar Valley tonight at times, Chris, has liked that fade route, the ball, I think, is going to be placed more towards the bottom of your screen. So if they go to the top of your screen, that could take 6 seconds off the clock. So you almost have to go to the short side of the field if you're going to throw it.
Yeah, and I think what I'd do is they handed it off, I can't remember the guy's name, to one of the fullbacks. I'd just line up in that tight formation and say, guys, let's go get 1 yard.
So it's going to be 1st and goal from about the 2. Oh no, sorry, it's from the 1. It's from the 1. It's a tough angle, but it's from the 1. We'll see. Watch for the quarterback sneak. Here is the give to the fullback. Did he get in? It doesn't look like any sign yet. Touchdown, Cedar Valley. Number 38 gets it in. That is Soai Saga gets in as the half expires.
Yeah, great run by Saga, and he's had like 2 carries tonight, and that one's for 6, and he's gets in, and that's exactly what I would have done. So great play call by Cedar Valley.
The officials are talking here. We've seen this a couple of times. I don't see any kind of a penalty flag here, Chris, but I'm trying to see here. I'm gonna. So we'll see here. There's no penalty flag. Cedar Valley, they're ready to kick the extra point. The clock's expired, so after the extra point, that's the half.
So it's an untimed Canadian down here.
Ready to go right here. The extra point. And now now whistles blow. And timeout Spanish Fork. So the Dons will use their last timeout, and I guess the only rationale, Chris, I can think of is either you didn't have the right guys on the field, or you want to make sure this stays a 2-possession game.
Yeah, if this kicker misses, it's 9 points. That's still 2 possessions to your point there. So why not ice the kicker? I guess the only risk you run here is maybe Cedar Valley decides, hey, we want to go for 2. Now they have time to draw something up. So I don't know. You could make an argument either way here, whether that was a good timeout or not.
I mean, you don't get to carry them over, so it doesn't hurt to use it. But you see the Dons right there, and first-year head coach Dustin Smith comes in. Preston Parrish doing a great job here, kind of changing the course of the program and getting them in the right spot. But this is a job, Chris, where the Dons over the last, when you look at the last 10 years, they've had a lot of turnover in that head coaching position.
Yeah, they have, and they've changed classifications multiple times. About, can't remember how many years ago, but about 8 or 9 they were playing in the 3A state championship game. Lost that, I believe, to Dixie.
Elijah Holman, number 31, will kick the extra point. Snap down, kick is good, whistles blow from the officials, and I think we're going to have something against Spanish Fork. They're going to talk to Cedar Valley, and I think the question is going to be, do you want to re-kick it, or do you want to take the, or do you want to just take the extra point? I don't know why you just potentially wouldn't take the extra point, but.
And I realize why only the CFL has untimed downs. These things can take forever.
Talking to the official, the referee, you see him talking, that's the head coach, Wyatt Zabriskie, and I think he just said, yep, let's take it.
They're going to move halfway to the distance to the goal line. They're going to go for 2.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. At some point, you'd think, because of missing that early extra point, you would think that you'd have to go for 2 at some point, potentially. So why not here when the opportunity potentially looks like you, and this is where you have to be careful, Chris, of them going right back to the same play.
Yeah, Saga's in there again at the fullback spot. We'll see if he gets the carry.
Pitching it, it's going to be Macia who gets in, two-point conversion for Cedar Valley, and the Aviators take advantage of a late penalty to steal 2 points, I guess, before halftime. We've reached the end of the first half. Spanish Fork 21, Cedar Valley 14. We'll take a break and come back with the halftime show here on Spanish Fork 17.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Your 2020 Las Cholitas drill team. Welcome now onto the field, your Spanish Fork High cheerleaders.
Think I can fly. Think I can fly when I'm with you. My arms are wide, catching fire as the wind blows. And I'm gonna rip
Give it up for your cheerleaders.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage Team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
High school football back here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens and Chris Hurst back with you. We came on the air so quick, Chris. I don't think we introduced ourselves here tonight. Great to be back with another season. Chris, this has to be what, our fifth or sixth year together, something like that.
It hasn't been long enough, Ryan. We're glad to have you back this season. So yeah, I think we did Maple Mountain for 2 seasons, and then we moved over here to do both Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain. But it's been an exciting journey. We've been to quite a few places together.
We've been to Woods Cross and Skyline. Pretty much everything in Region 8.
Wasatch is always fun to go to.
Wasatch, yeah. Made the trip over to Heber. And we've been well traveled, but great to be with everybody here on a Friday night for high school football. The lights starting to come on here at Spanish Fork, and the Dons have a 21-14 lead at the half, and a great opportunity for Spanish Fork. Chris, you talked about after the game last week that the Dons dropping a tough one in overtime. Spanish Fork's come out and found a way to get some early offense, and then it kind of stalled, but then the Dons kind of got the spark they needed.
Yeah, it did. They had just one bad possession. Outside of that, their offense has looked amazing at times. Really done a good job of throwing the ball as we got the cheerleaders and drill team down there dancing around. That's kind of distracting, but anyways, yeah, I think the Dons' offense has done a good job. Their defense has done enough to make sure they're getting a win. If you give up, you know, they gave up a late touchdown there, but have done a pretty good job of keeping Cedar Valley in check. And time of possession's got to be owned by the Dons, as they've had long drives. And you're seeing the Cedar Valley defense with their hands on their hips. I think both teams have guys playing both ways, so we'll see who's got the best conditioning. That's what the game might come down to at the end of the day.
You know, it's not just the fact, too, that some of those guys have had to be on the field so long. It's the fact that this game kicked off, Chris, and it was upper 80s, maybe even the low 90s. I mean, it was warm. I was down on the field around 6 o'clock, and that sun was just kind of beating down on the field.
Yeah, it was, and it's been hot this whole last 7 or 8 days here in Utah, above average heat, hundreds. So they've been practicing it. So I don't know how big a factor that is, but you get on game day, and it's a lot different than practicing, and I think it's hotter this week than it was last week for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see if that becomes a factor here in the second half.
Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17. Let's thank our sponsors for helping make this broadcast and our many other broadcasts possible. We want to thank Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, the Driggs Mortgage Team, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, attorneys at law, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, and the Car Guys at the Blue Diamond Auto Group. We thank everybody for making this possible. We want to welcome all those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, and you can catch our broadcast here and many of our other programming and shows as well. They're both some archived and some live, so go ahead, and if you have people that can't make it, this is going to be an interesting year, Chris. You talked about some places where you can't have a packed house and a full stadium. This is a great year, really, to be able to have a chance to stream games and things like that, to be able to still be able to watch your favorite teams and maybe just not be there.
Yeah, and there's been times where I've been wondering, hey, I'm out of town, I can't do the game. Wonder what's going on, and I've been able to catch it in all sorts of countries and places like, I remember watching a great ending to a Maple Mountain Spanish Fork game because I couldn't sleep because of jet lag in Italy once, and it's amazing what we can do with technology. So take advantage of youtube.com/SpanishFork17 for not only this, but all sorts of stuff like the police beat and exciting stuff like that I like watching as well. Guilty pleasure there, Ryan.
3 minutes or so before the teams will come back on the field. Then they'll put 3 extra minutes on the clock or so. Let's recap our Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing keys to the game, Chris. And these are all ones that, when we kind of do a halftime report card, so to speak, this is an opportunity where if you're Spanish Fork, you're going to be in a really good spot if you can do these 3 things.
Yeah, and I think they've done them well for the most part. They've done a great job of swarming to the ball. Everybody's hustling on defense, making sure that they don't miss a tackle that becomes a bigger play for Cedar Valley. So the Dons, I'd say, B+ there. Limit turnovers on offense. They haven't had any this week. They created 1 turnover with the Jeffrey Hernandez interception. So they're winning the turnover battle there. And then in the red zone, well, they need to, limit Cedar Valley if they get back into the red zone and try and keep them to kicking a field goal. But they've given up a touchdown in the red zone. But when they've had the ball in the red zone, the Dons have capitalized on Reed and Tua Kavoa's running ability.
So right now we'll get ready to see. We don't know. We haven't seen a lot of Zach Dart there's really since the first quarter.
And I'm suspecting something's going on because I didn't see him on the sideline, and he did get rocked a couple of times when on his last possession. So, well, I don't know. I hope he's not hurt, but I haven't seen him on the sideline. That leads me to believe something's going on there.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's just check some scores here from throughout kind of our area. A couple of interesting games tonight, Chris. Orem taking on East. That one's kind of an interesting one. It's a 10-0 Tiger lead in the second quarter. That game, I think, being played up at East High School up in Salt Lake City. That's another place you and I have been.
Yeah.
Chris, just thinking about it.
I tried to forget about that trip to East, but we have been there.
We were talking about Maple Mountain scored a touchdown in the kind of middle of the second quarter, but the Pleasant Grove Vikings lead Maple Mountain 19-7. That one approaching halftime. Wasatch leading Mountain Crest 13-0 at the half. I'm just kind of looking through here really quick. Westlake leading Provo 16-7. Provo is one of those teams. It's going to be interesting to see in Region 8 how what the Bulldogs do after the great year they had last year.
Yeah, them and Salem Hills had really good years and just kind of couldn't punch through there in the playoffs. As I believe it was another Orem-Timpview championship game.
Both teams, both those schools have new head coaches this year as well. So kind of an interesting note right there. There's one other score I was like, Skyline leading Springville 28-14. That one at the half just up the road. The Spanish Fork Dons, though, are getting ready to come back here for the second half. It's a 21-14 lead for the Dons, and for the first time this year, they will run through the banner here to start the second half. And an opportunity here to see if they can continue to cap off this great first half here at Spanish Fork High School. The first home game of the 2020 season. As you can see, a lot of fans making the trip from Cedar Valley.
And that's quite the drive to get down here from Cedar Valley. Yeah, they made it, and probably, what a great way to spend a Friday night here in Spanish Fork. Why not make the drive down?
It was kind of fun. I was talking to our good friend and producer Pete Hansen before the game, and I was like, I got driving down here, and then I just realized that I haven't come down to Spanish Fork too much since last football season. So I was kind of just driving down and kind of coming down Main Street, and it was nice. It was almost like coming home, so to speak.
Well, welcome back, Ryan. I haven't left this town very much lately, so it's been interesting. But I think getting back to the football game, I think if the Dons can come out here in the second half, they can punch the ball in, really have a dominant drive here on Cedar Valley. I wonder if that'll wear them out, because they did make a long drive down here. It has been warm, and so I think that might take the edge off them. But I've said that probably a few other times where we've had other teams and the Dons have came out and really struggled on that drive, and the other team comes out on fire. I remember Salem Hills, traditionally, when we've done their games, they've struggled in the first half, but they really seem to be a dominant team in the second half in recent memory. So we'll have to see what Cedar Valley and what the Dons have in mind here for the second half.
And a lot of it, Chris, could come down to an early play here in the third quarter that might swing momentum a little bit. It's really a one-play game, and you have to kind of think in some ways that it's really Cedar Valley that has the momentum after coming back out of the halftime.
Yeah, they scored right before the half. They kicked an extra point. That got taken away, so to speak, because they took a penalty on the Dons, got that half the distance. They were able to punch that 2-point conversion in, make it a 7-point ball game. It looked like the Dons were going to run away with it, but credit Cedar Valley for fighting back and getting this thing within 7.
So right here, we're under a minute or so away from kickoff here of the second half. Spanish Fork 21, Cedar Valley 14 right now as we get ready to go here for the third quarter. And we're going to play the third quarter, Chris, completely under the lights here, as it's about 8:30 or so, as you kind of see in the background here what Chris and I are talking about. Usually out there in the distance, Chris, you can see the mountains still, but here you just kind of see it looks like it's foggy throughout the whole kind of Utah County area and even up towards Salt Lake County.
Yeah, I hope the mountains didn't disappear, but I think it's, like you said, the smoke situation. It's 2020. Maybe the mountains disappeared. I don't know.
Hopefully not, but
you never know.
But we'll see here. We want to thank our wonderful crew here for helping get us all squared away here tonight for our opening game of the 2020 high school football season. And we're set and ready to go for what should be a fun second half. Spanish Fork gets the football to open up the third quarter, which just kind of really settles in, Chris, how important that late touchdown for Cedar Valley was.
Yeah, it was, but, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised. This Cedar Valley team looks like they came to win this ball game, and they came out all aggressive. I'd be careful to watch out for an onside kick here. I hope the Dons talked about that when they were discussing what they were going to do on special teams here in the second half.
You have to kind of wonder at some point, the momentum kind of going the Aviators' way so far. That wouldn't be surprising right here. Cedar Valley wearing the all-white, Spanish Fork in the red and gray. Right here as lights come on here at the press box. And
that's my job, Ryan, turn the lights on. I couldn't see the numbers anymore.
We might be a little outnumbered up here, Chris, so
we'd be fine.
Right here as we're ready to go, the kick underway by Holman, and this one goes deep to about the 2-yard line. Coming out, bringing it out, that's McKay Perry, and Perry gets to about the 28-yard line before he's brought down. And so it'll be 1st and 10 coming up for the Dons, and we'll see here what Spanish Fork does here to start the second half, as we kind of wait to see who's going to come out. It will be Zach Dart coming out at quarterback.
And that's a good sign here for Spanish Fork that Dart's able to play. I didn't see him on the sideline, but he's able and out there. So let's see what he can do here.
First down and 10, 11:54 to play here in the second half. Right up the middle here. And Tayson Reed breaks free. He's going to have a first down and more across the 40 to the 42-yard line. A good pickup on first down there from Tayson Reed.
Yeah, nice bunch formation by the Dons that time. They were selling out on the run. Cedar Valley knew it was coming, but Reed breaks a couple of arm tackles and picks up the first down nonetheless.
We haven't seen Reed with a lot of really big kind of breakaway runs tonight, but we've seen him pick up a good 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on a carry.
Yeah, great run by Reed there, and that he showed his not only his speed but his power on that play.
Here's the give again up the middle to Tayson Reed. Reed this time breaks free. Across the 40 to the 30, stiff arms before he's brought down around the 19-yard line of Cedar Valley.
And that's a beautiful sight, seeing Reed just split right through the defense, pick up the first down and more there, as I thought there for a second he was going to possibly get 6, but great blocking we saw to really open that up, and Reed is able to take advantage of that.
Matt Smith, Curtis Hernandez, 2 of the linemen in there. There was multiple linemen with good blocks there with the Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance assist there to Tayson Reed to open up that hole.
Yeah, I could even got you 3 yards on that play if you needed.
Here's Josh Buck on the carry. Buck gets inside the 20 down to right around the 19-yard line. And so no gain really there on first down.
And the Dons are really just trying to establish the run game. They can see that Cedar Valley's worn out, and they want to take advantage of that.
So it's going to bring up second down and about 10.
I was going to say, we'll see if maybe they'll go with a little play action here. They've done that in this game as well, when they've been successful running, and that sets up well for the play action pass.
Well, this is about the time here. You see Cedar Valley's loading the box. There's no safety over the top. Now one drops in. Dart hits Morley Bennett on the slant. Did he get in for the touchdown? He is. Touchdown Dons. It's Dart to Bennett for the second time tonight. And the Dons now have a 2-score lead again.
Yeah, and I called it earlier. I thought Bennett was going to score. He's been playing an MVP Sports MVP player type game tonight for the Dons, and he gets a second touchdown as he splits the 2 defenders for 6.
And there's a player down for Cedar Valley in the end zone.
And we should mention that's Dart's second touchdown pass of the night. That was a little, post slant type route there, and great throw to Bennett by Dart.
That might be, and I'm not sure exactly, that might be number 8, CJ Proctor, who's down. So it may be, it's in the secondary for sure, as you see medical staff out there with 10:01 to play here in the third quarter. Spanish Fork an extra point away from going up 2 touchdowns and really responding after the Cedar Valley touchdown.
Yeah, and they do it in less than 2 minutes, and it's ground, 1 pass, they're in. Quick drive, but they did most of the work on the ground. So that's number 3, Ryan Lee.
So Ryan Lee, one of the defensive backs. And that's one thing, Chris, we talked about, playing that no safety over the top. If you have that safety there, it provides a little bit of protection on the backside on that slant.
Yeah, well, and Salter was kind of there, Lee was kind of there, and they all just collided with Bennett that time, and that might have caused that injury, but you're right that the safety was late getting there.
Stevenson on for the point after touchdown try. And the kick looks good from here, and it's through. So with 10:01 to play in the third quarter, it's a 28-14 lead for the Spanish Fork Dons here on Spanish Fork 17, as that's quite a way to start the third quarter.
Yeah, it is, and it's exactly how I think the Dons wanted to start it. They were physical, and then they showed a little finesse with the air game here. If the Dons defense can get a 3-and-out here, it really Well, there's still a lot of football to be played, but I think that's probably your next goal if you're the Dons, is to get a 3-and-out, get that offense back on the field, and just blow this game wide open.
And this is kind of where you talk about testing the depth of a team like Cedar Valley, Chris, and really testing the depth all the way across the board. But when you have that limited travel roster, some schools you can only, I think, travel 50 guys this year, 50 players. So when you look at it, would it be smart from a coach's standpoint just to have the same 50 every week?
Well, I don't know if that's possible with injury, but you definitely will have your consistent starters traveling every week. But I think football is a game of routine. You want to do the same thing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that you do every game week to build that consistency, those good habits. So I'd imagine you'd have close to the same travel roster pending any injuries.
Stevenson kicks it away. Back deep, it was Parker Christensen who runs up to the 10 to return the kick. Gets outside around the 20, and then, came down right around the 21-yard line, was where he's brought down. And now an opportunity here for Cedar Valley, as it was number 1, Bo Murphy, getting in there on the tackle. And now, Chris, an opportunity for Cedar Valley. This is when you need a response, right?
Yeah, you need to respond. You don't have the best field position here, but just gave up 7 points. You're down 2 possessions here. You can't fall down too much further behind.
First down and 10 here for the Aviators. Give right up the middle, and not much going down for Brennan Wolf, I believe, as Morgan Mulestein, who's had a quiet night so far for the Spanish Fork defense, gets in there on the stop.
Yeah, and that brings up 2nd and 9 here for the Dons. We'll see. I wonder if Cedar Valley had their play scripted to start this game, because they seemed well in sync, and since that first drive, it's been all downhill almost at points.
Dons getting a late man off the field. There's a completion across the middle. That is Tegan Hansen on the catch, as Tenny Worthen gets in there on the stop.
Yeah, Tegan, I believe that's Church with the catch there, but great tackle that time by 19 Worthen, as he's able to hang on to that ankle and make sure he doesn't get it to 3rd and manageable. Instead, it's a 3rd and medium 6 here.
Big 3rd down, as in motion goes Hansen again. There's a long throw there. That one in and out of the hands of number 81, E.J. Larson there. And that brings up 4th down.
Pretty good coverage by Pepper there. But you can't let that ball hang that long in the air. It's got to be more of a rope in that situation, and you're going to find yourself trying to chase the corner into the end zone if you're the quarterback for the Aviators.
And kind of what you wanted, Chris, a quick, pretty close to a 3-and-out. I guess it is really a 3-and-out. There's no, as close to it is. Here's a punt, and back deep coming up is, the Dons are just going to get away with it. Almost hit a Spanish Fork player, and then it's down by Cedar Valley. The Dons had that happen last week on a punt where the Dons hit a punted ball from Cedar, and then the Reds fell on it and turned it in, I believe, to points on that drive.
Yeah, well, that's a tough break, because you're trying to block, you're trying to do what you're supposed to, and then you don't realize that the ball's going to bounce and hit your leg by you. That's a no-win situation for a blocker.
First down and 10, 8:41 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Zach Dart in the backfield with Tayson Reed. 4 wide receivers on the play. Back to throw with some time. Dart taking a shot, looking for Bennett. Back shoulder throw. Bennett came down with it. He's out of bounds, says the official. Very close. It was right on there. Morley Bennett, I thought, was going to be able to get his foot down, but it looked really close. The official right on top of it, though, says incomplete.
Was his left leg or right leg down first? Because I thought it was close.
We can't quite see it right there.
I thought he was inbounds.
It looked like it to me, but
we'll never know. We didn't quite get his legs on the replay, unfortunately.
And in high school football, they don't have the instant replay or the coach's challenge. They bring up 2nd and 10. But again, you're seeing one-on-one coverage with Bennett at the bottom of your screen. There's a give right up the middle with Tayson Reed. I apologize, Bennett was to the top of your screen, still in one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, they're going one-on-one on the outside, but when you go 3-4 wide receivers, what other option do you have? Somebody's going to be one-on-one unless you're doing some sort of three-man front and dropping 8 back into zone coverage.
3rd down and 4, so a nice 3rd and, I guess 4 might still be considered medium.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 here. 3rd and very manageable. The Dons are going to call a timeout.
We'll have our first timeout right here of the second half. 28-14 lead for Spanish Fork on top of Cedar Valley.
Yeah, 8:04 here to go. So far, it's been all Dons here in the second half. This is a huge 3rd down, more so for Cedar Valley than Spanish Fork. If they want to stay in this ball game, they've got to get a big stop here and get some yardage on the offensive end. So we'll see if the Aviators, maybe they'll bring some pressure here and do some sort of blitz that'll also accommodate stopping the run.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 4, and kind of like you talked about, Chris, a 2-score lead when we start getting in the middle of the 3rd quarter. That clock's going to move pretty quick. A touchdown here really puts you in a tough spot.
Yeah, it does. You're down 3 scores. I mean, we've seen bigger comebacks at the high school level, but both teams are really huddling up. It's not been a fast-paced game outside of maybe the first couple drives of the game, but we have the old Maryland eye here, I believe.
Right here, and penalties fly as some movement early on by multiple players, I think, there. So that now, instead of it being 3rd and pretty manageable 3rd and 4, it's going to push it back to a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I think everybody moved, but the center possibly. A lot of movement, but not the ball didn't seem to be snapped.
And this is where you have to be have to kind of keep an eye on, maybe going back to one of those slants with Morley Bennett right here or something, because you've been able to get 10, 11 yards on that. Especially if they're going to play one-on-one, you might see something like that come right here.
Yeah, and also you could do another one of those fade routes with Bennett as well.
So 3rd down and 9, dart from shotgun, man goes in motion.
Yeah, there's no safety.
Dart rolling out, pressured from behind, looking towards the sideline, has a man, that's going to be caught. That's Morley Bennett, and they're going to, let's see here, penalty flag down though. And this is where, when you get that rollout, Chris, this is where sometimes you get a man downfield too much.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I saw a ineligible number way downfield, so I think that's what the call is going to be.
So instead of
an emphasis this year by the NHSA?
NFHS.
I wasn't even close.
I had to spell it out.
Oh, my bad.
It's week 1, Chris. We'll give you some breaks tonight. 3rd down and about 14, I think, coming up. I believe it's a 5-yard penalty.
Oh, pass interference. We
were both wrong. Okay, so offensive pass interference moves it back 15 yards to make it a 3rd and 24.
It's too bad they didn't call legal man downfield, because they could have called that as well.
So now your playbook is pretty shrunken when it's a 3rd and 25.
Yeah, you can go deep posts, deep fades, Hail Mary. You know, I don't know. Whatever else. Maybe
everybody
a screen,
go deep.
Maybe a screen. I don't know. Play for the punt.
3rd down and 25. Dart back to throw. Pressure comes, throws over the middle. That pass high, almost intercepted, and that one goes incomplete. Looking over the middle there for Cade Olson. Just, I think, looking to get a chunk back there. That'll be 4th down, and the Dons will have to punt. And again, we talk about a good drive, Chris, and then it's stalled by penalties.
Yeah, another 1st down taken away by a penalty here for the Dons, and they're forced to punt, but they're in a good situation, still up by 2 touchdowns.
Austin Stevenson back at his own 19-yard line. Parker Christensen standing back at his own 25-yard line. High snap, Stevenson gets it down, but it's blocked. And right there to fall on it was number 15, I believe Tanner Evans blocked it, and Tanner Evans, number 15, comes up with it for Cedar Valley.
Yeah, that's a game-changing play right there, a blocked punt. I can't remember what the statistic is. If you block a punt at a certain level, NFL, I think you win like 80% of your games or something crazy like that. I don't think it's that high, the high school level, but still, that's a big momentum changing play. We'll see if the Dons can get a stop here in the Driggs Mortgage team red zone.
And right here, an opportunity for Cedar Valley to try to see if they can get this get a touchdown and make it a one-score game again. Here's Macia straight up the middle on first down. There's a penalty flag on the far side of the field, and they'll blow the play dead, but we'll have to wait to see what the penalty is.
Yeah, it looked like it's the line judge, so maybe somebody lined off sides, or it was some sort of procedure penalty.
To wait and see. It looks like a legal shift.
Yeah.
And that will go against the Aviators, so that will move them back 5 yards.
And they're out of the red zone at this moment in time.
Back to the 22-yard line. 7:14 to go, third quarter. 28-14 lead for the Spanish Fork Dons on top of the Cedar Valley Aviators. Here's a give right up the middle. It's going to be Weber. He keeps it ahead again and goes down. But a nice little quick move to try to see if he could get a yard. Morgan Mulestein gets in there on the tackle.
A great job by the Dons defense stepping up after a little special team snafu here to bring up second and long.
Four wide receivers for the Aviators. This is one of those formations Chris talked about, a lone man to the top of your screen.
They love to go to the top in this situation.
There's a penalty flag, and both sides kind of pointing each other's way. So we'll sort this one out, but it's going to go against the Aviators.
Yeah, that's the first thing you learn in any league of football is when the whistle blows and there's a procedure penalty, you got to point at the other guy. Who knows if it's ever worked in the history of football, but that's what you're taught.
You talked about stats, and I read something. I don't know where it was. I think it was. I think I remember where it was now. We'll talk about it here after this play. Back to throw. Weber steps up, throws towards the end zone there. That one's incomplete. Looking out there for Noah Burnham, number 11. I read a sports stats book for a math class, and in there it broke down all these crazy stats, and it talked about you were most likely to recover a fumble if you just pointed, regardless if you had the ball, just started pointing that you had the ball, that it was more likely to go in your favor.
If you do it adamant, you're not on the pile, but you're the second guy just pointing adamantly. Maybe the ref already has a bias, and it could be close tie-up down at the bottom, right?
Third down and 20, taking a shot here over the top in the end zone, just overthrew the intended wide receiver. Two of them were out there. I think it was Kyler. One of them was number 84, KJ Fisher, but.
Here's another theory. Maybe they start pointing because they actually have the ball, Ryan. So it's always the right, if you're adamant about it, your team's got the ball. Who knows?
Fourth down and 20 coming up. And Cedar Valley looks like they're going to line up to attempt the field goal.
Well, this will be impressive. 45-yarder here.
On the right hash for Elijah Holman. Snap good, hold good. Kick as a low line drive kick, and he missed it.
Well, the Dons survive a blocked punt inside the red zone with no harm done and get better field position for it.
So they'll get better field position, no points, and they have a 2-touchdown lead midway through the third quarter. Let's take a moment here on Spanish Fork 17 to thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible tonight. We want to thank the car guys, the Blue Diamond Auto Group, MVP Sports, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, the Driggs Mortgage Team, Mikkel Thompson, Hunter Attorneys at Law, and Two Jacks Pizza, and our good friends at MVP Sports.
All right, we'll see if the Dons have a little better drive here. They're back to the backup quarterback.
First down and 10 right here. Spanish Fork going to try to move the football. Here's a quarterback keeper, and that's going to be a first down right here
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Tuatagavoa with a huge run up the middle. That's
for a first down.
Best attempt. I apologize if I'm wrong, sir.
I was trying to catch the PA announcer.
Oh, and I ruined
it. That's why I was taking that pause there. So, but nonetheless, it'll be a first down for Spanish Fork right here. So a nice job here. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. 5:51 to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and he brings a little spark to the game, Tuatagavoa, with his running skill set.
Here's a give right up the middle. This, I believe, is Joshua Buck. And that's going to be another first down, 11 yards on first down.
A great run by Buck, and I have a hard time distinguishing him and Reed, 29-28. Great running combo, tough to announce for those numbers. Another first down here. The Dons churning clock. They look loose. Cedar Valley looks a little tense at the moment.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Spanish Fork approaching midfield here. 28-14 to go. 28-14 the score. 5:24 to go. As it will be up the middle. I believe that's going to be, again, Josh Buck. And that will give the Dons a first down. And the biggest thing here, Chris, you're picking up 6-7 yards a carry. You're going to let that clock really start to run here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's a great point. And they're beating up Cedar Valley. Nobody likes getting ran into and pushed a couple of yards every play. So Spanish Fork being the aggressive team, wearing down Cedar Valley, hands on hips on every single one of those defensive linemen right now.
2nd down and 4 coming up. Ready to go with 4 wide receivers. Here's a straight handoff up the, quarterback keeper, and that one will lose a yard or 2.
Yeah, that play was broken up there by the Cedar Valley defenders. Trying to catch the number, but great play there by Cedar Valley as they really blew that rollout. I don't know if that was a run or a pass, but they blew it up in the backfield nonetheless.
Bring 3rd and 5 coming up right here. Back to, here's a handoff again. This time it's going to, I believe that's Buck again. Sorry, no, that's Tayson Reed who checked in. He's got a first down to the 41 and a first down for Spanish Fork.
Yeah, great job blocking. They fake the ball to Olsen, give it to Reed. And those guys have to hang on to those blocks for a little while when you have that misdirection fake going on. So great job though by Reed, quickly picking up that first down after he gets the ball.
1st down and 10, ball on the Spanish Fork 41-yard line. Rolling out, looking to throw. Tuatagalvo rolls out, now runs over towards the sideline, and he'll just run right out of bounds across the 40.
Tuavoava? I don't know what the PA announcer said. I tried to catch it for you, Ryan, but nonetheless, Tuavoa with a pickup of about 5 or 6.
It'll be 2nd down and 3 coming up. Ball on the 36-yard line right here.
Yeah, and if you're the Dons, you got to be loving this. You've scored a touchdown. You've had 2 long drives now. Hopefully they can capitalize on a touchdown here on the third quarter. Great halftime adjustments by this coaching staff.
A lot of clock coming off here in the third. Throwing to the end zone. Tuatagavoa right there. Has a man out there. That one goes. There's going to be a penalty flag come in as he tried to get it out to Cade Olsen.
Yeah, Cade Olsen might want to check for his wallet, as I think Salter came up with it on that play as he was interfering with him. That'll be another 15 yards here for the Dons. 1st down and 10. Really driving. Very impressive game here. And
1st down and 10 coming up right here with 3:28 to go in the third quarter. Ball's going to be on the 21-yard line. Spanish Fork trying to see if they can get in the end zone. 4 wide receivers right here. And again, no really safety over the top. Screen pass set out. Cade Olsen drops it before. And he got running without the football right there and drops it and brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, unfortunately dropped it. My only Yeah, it's one thing to drop it. He's got to jump on that ball because you never know if the official's going to say that's a lateral. If it's anything close, jump on that ball and make sure the Aviators don't get another huge play.
2nd down and 10 coming up here for Spanish Fork. Don's looking to try to see if they can punch it in right here. Really, it might be a back-breaking touchdown for Cedar Valley, or against Cedar Valley. There's Morley Bennett. That pass is complete down to the 10, and that should be enough for a first down, and it is, and it will be 1st and goal for the Dons.
Yeah, Bennett's been very reliable tonight. He's, been very trusted to get that first down when they need it in a big passing play, and man, it's exciting to see Bennett doing well this year.
First down and 10 right here. 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Ready to go. Here's the give. It's a quarterback keeper and not much going on there through the heart of the defense.
Yeah, not a big pickup there. Clock keeps on turning here, and Don's looking to get it in the end zone now that they're in the Drills Mortgage Team red zone here.
It's going to be it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 10 with 2:30 to go in the 3rd.
I think they're right at the 10, but they can get a first down inside the half-yard line, it looks like.
At first, they weren't going to do it. They were going to take the chains out, but they must have measured it again. Back to throw with some time. Looking end zone. Has a man. Kate Olson. Touchdown from Jacob Tua Tatalvo there. And it's a 34-14 lead for Spanish Fork.
A great little slant route there by Kate Olson, splitting the defense, getting in the end zone, and increasing this lead to 20.
A nice job there on the touchdown with 2:12 to go. That's just a kind of a bullet of a strike. Just a very clean ball thrown there.
Yeah, it was indeed. And, man, Kate Olson, the junior, it was a whoa, we got a
Spanish
legal
Fork
formation.
right here. There's a penalty flag as McKay Peary went to run it into the end zone as Spanish Fork was late getting the last man on the field. I
think that was Valentine that was sprinting onto the field, but nonetheless, he didn't quite make it into formation.
And there's a penalty flag that was thrown by the referee. That will back the Dons up here with 2:12 to play here in the 3rd quarter. And now if you're Cedar Valley, Chris, you really have to, now this is when you're going to have to show probably some urgency right here.
Yeah, and he wasn't, and they had that play. I wonder if they should have just stopped Valentine from running on the field because he's not on the line of scrimmage.
1st down and 10 coming up. Or not 1st down and 10. We're still going for the extra point here. And penalty flags fly again as the extra point this time was, I believe, good. But now we'll have to see where this is going to go, and this is going to be a procedure against the Dons.
Yeah, we've had Cedar Valley scored a touchdown right before the half, and we had all sorts of adventures and penalties and multiple snaps there. No time comes off the clock on these PATs, but I've lost about a half hour of my life tonight on these, Ryan.
The extra points right here have definitely been an adventure, and this is going to be a much longer. I think this is going to be kicked from right around the 13 or 14 yard line. Maybe the 12, somewhere in there.
This will give Stevenson the opportunity to show off his leg.
Snap good, hold good. And I think this time we had maybe somebody jumped offsides right here. One of the players coming off the edge there just kind of got a little jump and tried to stop. I don't think they did in time. This will be offsides against Cedar Valley. So Spanish Fork will get 5 back in their favor.
And that kick, I had plenty of distance. I couldn't tell if it was good because we're not at the best angle for that, but plenty of distance on that kick that time by Stevenson.
And it starts to get a little bit tougher too at night, I feel like, from up here in the booth. Snap is good, and the snap is not good. They try to get the hold down. And Perry's going to have to try to make something out of nothing at the 10. Tries to cut back to the 5. And he'll be brought down there. But there's a penalty. There's 2 penalty flags back at around the 20-yard line. And we'll have to see who it's going to be against right here.
Did Perry lose his shoe, or was it one of the Cedar Valley players? No, it was Perry.
Yeah, okay. So he loses his shoe. There is a penalty flag still. So we'll have to see here how this is going to work it out. And really, I have to kind of wonder if you're Cedar Valley, if it's against Spanish Fork, do you just say decline it and move on?
I hope so.
I don't know if I'd give him an opportunity to kick the extra point. It is against Spanish Fork. Penalty will be declined by Cedar Valley, and we'll move on from there with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter.
I think that was one of our greatest accomplishments tonight, was just getting past that PAT. No points for the Dons, unfortunately, but they still have a 20-point lead, and wow, that's crazy PAT adventures. And you just kind of get in these penalty loops sometimes in high school games where you have 4 or 5 snaps in a row where there's like penalty after penalty after penalty.
So with 2:12 to go here in the third quarter, Cedar Valley will get the football back. Austin Stevenson will kick it away. Going back deep to receive will be Parker Christensen. And this starts to become a big time for Cedar Valley, Chris. They really need some points here. With really 14, just a little over 14 minutes on that clock total in game time. Two minutes here in the third, and then we head to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they can dig deep inside and see if they want to make this a ball game or a layover. I'm curious to see how they fight this through as we have another kick into the end zone. Both kickers have done a great job of that, Ryan.
Really an extra defender tonight as that kick goes in the end zone, and Parker Christensen will come out. And now Parker Christensen, he might come out. We don't know yet, but we'll see here what
Peyton Weber.
Peyton Weber.
And did you see the XFL when how they kind of did their kicks?
I remember hearing about it, but I didn't really watch it too much. As I give up the middle there.
Well, you didn't miss too much.
About 4 yards. So I believe A.J. Lindsey on the carry.
But if you kicked it into the end zone, I think they got the ball at like the 40, but they'd start, the blockers and the defenders would start about 10 yards away from each other, I think on the 20 and the 30. So they didn't get much momentum going on those kicks, but they were still kickoff involved.
Weber takes a chance down the field to try to get it out to E.J. Larson, but that one just out of the reach of Larson, brings up third down.
Yeah, Larson was open that time. Weber just didn't have the time to connect. I think if he'd had another half a second, he'd have been able to complete that pass.
We'll bring up 3rd and 6 coming up here for Cedar Valley. The last thing the Aviators want here is a quick 3 and out. Weber ready to throw, steps back, looks up, has a man out there, one-on-one at the top of your screen, and that one's going to be incomplete, looking for Burnham. Worthen there, number 19, was on the coverage. I was wondering if there was going to be a penalty flag, but there wasn't. It brings up 4th down and most likely a punting situation here for Cedar Valley.
Yeah, great job by the defense here. Penalties declined. There was something going on, and it'll bring up 4th down. But great job by Worthen and everybody else on the defense, forcing another 3 and out here for Cedar Valley, and that's happened multiple times in the second half.
Minute 36 to go in the third quarter. 34-14, Spanish Fork on top of Cedar Valley. Perry and Olson back deep to receive the punt. Here's a line drive punt that will be returned from Cade Olson from the 40-yard line. He's across the 50, has a man, picks up a block, steps through the middle, and he'll be inside the 30 down to about the 22-yard line on the return for Cade Olson, who just took a little bit of a gap and found a way to find some green. And now he has Spanish Fork knocking on the door again, and a touchdown here for the Dons probably puts this one out of reach.
Yeah, it does. And Olson, man, he's fast. Not only is he quick as we see him change directions, but gets down there in a hurry. And the Dons are within striking range once again here in the third quarter. They've really owned this as they've scored 2 touchdowns already.
It's going to be 1st and 10 right here. Ball on the 23-yard line. 4 wide receivers right here. 34-13. Don's knocking on the door. They're looking like they might take a shot here on 1st down. Rolling out, now being pressured, and just throws that one away over towards the sideline. Questions.
Was there a receiver in the area?
I know there was one right there.
They were looking to call it, but it looks clean, I guess.
I could kind of tell the official right there was kind of starting to reach. I think he was debating it. There he kind of lets it go, and I was wondering because intentional grounding, kind of one of those points of emphasis this year. You may see an increased amount of calls with that, and now we'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, 2nd and 10, and that could have been a lot worse because intentional grounding is a spot foul.
Second and 10 coming up right here. Back to throw with some time. Taking a shot deep. Has Cade Olson out there. Just overthrew him. Right there as that will bring up 3rd down and 10.
And the Dons have gone with back-to-back passes with not a whole lot of success. So, you know, the way they've been running it, one might question, well, should they have thrown a run in there? But it brings up 3rd and 10 nonetheless, and it could be Morley Bennett time.
Bring up 3rd and 10. Morley Bennett's been both in good connection tonight with Zach Dart and also Jacob Tuatavo as he's come in tonight. And there's a quarterback keeper with some green to the 10. Cuts back to the 5. Can he get in? He's going to be close, but I think he's down at the 1.
And we have a penalty at the 9-yard line.
And so this is going to probably bring this one back right there. But Spanish Fork right here. That's a great run in that read option game there, Chris. But just right there, that one block really kind of will bring that play back for the Dons.
Yeah, it will, and so it brings up 3rd, and if that's a spot foul, they gained a few yards on there, but it's about 3rd and 5, 7.
So it doesn't, I mean, it hurts the Dons a little bit, but not as much as it could have hurt. So it's going to be 3rd down and 5, still very manageable, and you have to kind of think you might be in 2-down territory here. 50 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter, 11 seconds on the play clock.
And right now, I'm able to start smelling a little more smoke. I don't know if you're getting that as well.
3rd down and about 5 coming up. Back to throw, looking, has a man in the flat. Cade Olson makes the catch. He's going to be short of the marker, though. It's going to bring up 4th and maybe a yard, but there's a penalty down, and Olson comes up limping on that.
He comes up limping, took quite the shot. I think this is going to be a penalty on Cedar Valley, where it was thrown at, as there's a face mask.
Penalty will be against Cedar Valley.
And that's something you don't want to see. I know Olson struggled a little bit with staying on the field with injuries last year, and it's way too early in the season to be worrying about that as he's kind of limping around.
Spanish Fork will have to snap it one more time here in the quarter. It's about a 6.5 second difference between game clock and play clock. Back to throw, looking over the middle. That's complete inside the 5. Right there. Ball comes loose at the end. Cedar Valley quick to fall on it, but Morley Bennett, I think, was down. And that will end the 3rd quarter. So we head to the 4th here on Spanish Fork 17. Dons 34. Aviators of Cedar Valley 14.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if you do, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Call McKell, Thompson, and Hunter, 801-798-9000.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
The she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
I definitely recommend the Driggs team. They're amazing.
Hi, I'm Greg with the Driggs Mortgage team, where we believe there's no substitute for experience. Stop by our office today on Main Street and let us help you get into your brand new home.
Hi, welcome to 2Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Start of the fourth quarter here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens alongside Chris Hurst. A 34-14 lead for the Spanish Fork Dons over the Cedar Valley Aviators as the home opener for Spanish Fork. And the Dons right now, Chris, are about a yard away or so from really putting this one out of reach.
Yeah, we moved 99 yards the other direction.
So right here, we'll see what happens here on second down and I guess goal. Well, 2nd and 1 it looks. Well, no, 2nd and goal. We'll see here. This may be Tayson Reed getting the carry. And that one is in for a penalty flag came in, and this one would have been a Spanish Fork touchdown, but instead we'll have an illegal procedure call against the Dons.
And the frustrating thing is this game has just really lost any joy in the rhythm because we just had penalty and then another penalty and then another penalty. So it just seems like it's dragging on. I understand the need for rules, but man, sometimes I wonder if we should just keep some of those flags in the pocket sometimes.
2nd down and goal moves it back out to about the 6-yard line. Here's again quarterback keeper looking for the end zone and touchdown Spanish Fork. Jacob Tuatagavo there gets in for the touchdown.
And that Tuatagavo has accounted for 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, making a push for our MVP, sports MVP player of the game.
All right there, and that's a very much an added element to the Spanish Fork offense that you don't necessarily get with Zach Dart.
Yeah, you don't, and I sometimes wonder if it's tough for the receivers because he is left-handed, and the ball spirals the absolute opposite direction. So, but it seems like they're hanging on the ball no matter who's throwing it to them.
Extra point is up and good for Austin Stevenson. So a 41-14 lead for Spanish Fork here. 11:55 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yep. 41-14. We haven't quite updated. There we go. 41-14 Dons. And really, they've came out and taken, it was 21-14 at the half. So they've scored 20 points here in the early part of the fourth and third quarter, all the third quarter. So they've come out, they've made the adjustments, but Cedar Valley looked a little tired in the second half, in the second quarter. Dons have taken advantage of that here in the second half.
And with 11:55 to play here in the fourth quarter, if there's a time, if you're Cedar Valley, Chris, where you need to find some offense, you're gonna, and this is kind of the tough part in high school football. You're now backed up against an extra opponent in time, and it's hard to kind of fight the need to, hey, well, let's just air it out, and we have to move the football now.
Yeah, and they've got a capable quarterback, Weber. I guess the question is, can he get enough time to be effective?
That's been one of the biggest problems. He's been under pressure for majority of the game, and this one into the end zone again, and will come back for a touchback. With 11:55 to go in the fourth quarter, a 41-14 lead as Cedar Valley comes out, and this might be a good opportunity for head coach Dustin Smith here within probably the next possession or two to maybe play some of the young guys.
That is, and I think I'd probably see if I can't just get this game moving along. If they get the ball back with this large lead, to run it a little bit.
Right here, ready to go. Peyton Weber ready to go right here. Man goes in motion, that's the fullback. And here's a give. Macia getting outside, cuts it up the middle. He'll get a couple of yards right there on first down.
Yeah, Macia comes in with quite a few yards rushing here tonight, and he's added a few more, but not so far. It hasn't been enough. Yeah, he had 102 yards rushing coming into this game. I don't think he'll quite get to 100 unless something changes tonight or here in the fourth quarter.
Cedar Valley, a second-year program. It can be kind of hard, so to speak, your first couple of years. This handoff again straight up the middle for a couple of yards there from Macia on the carry. When you're a second or third year school, Chris, you're still kind of building the program, laying some of the foundation for that, for the program. And sometimes it takes athletically schools maybe a couple of years. We saw Corner Canyon kind of jump right in, but
well, they were in the right place.
You know, the Chargers kind of maybe a little bit different situation, so to speak, than a school like Cedar Valley.
Yeah, and the forgetting their name, that school up in Lehigh, Sky Ridge. Yeah, Sky Ridge has stormed into athletics as well. KJ Fisher there on the catch. That's going to be a first down right there. And the reason why I say that is you're talking about, you know, Corner Canyon up in Draper. They had a large area of kind of athletes to choose from. Not saying Cedar Valley didn't, Chris, but definitely when you're taking from multiple schools, we saw Sky Ridge take a little bit from Lone Peak, American Fork, and Lehigh, and kind of all together. Well, there's some good football in that part of the valley for sure.
Macia getting outside, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard right there.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of like smaller high schools giving kids more opportunities to play. So the more high schools, the better, as long as they can get out participation. I know there was some struggle. Was it Cottonwood last year that they had 18 guys on the team or something like that? So you don't want to see that either on the other spectrum.
Second down and 10, 10:04 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back to throw, ready to step up. Pressure comes. Weber throws that one just out of the reach right there of number 11, Noah Burnham.
Yeah, I'm looking at Region 10, and you've got Mountain View, Ogden, Tooele, Ben Lomond, Uinta, Stansbury Park City. I think Cedar Valley is going to do well once they get into region play. They just have ran into, you know, a tough couple of teams in Region 8 between Maple Mountain having, like you mentioned, one of their best teams, and Spanish Fork really putting it together both here, or putting it together on offense and defense tonight.
Well, and I think that's the thing. You have to look at a lot of times these non-region games. There's a completion out there to that, again, is going to be E.J. Larson, and he's going to have a first down. Cedar Valley's done a lot of good things tonight. There's a lot of things on, you know, when you go back and watch this game, Chris, it's just been a couple of those moments Spanish Fork's able to take advantage. That's not an easy throw right there to get that one in there to E.J. Larson.
No, it's not. It was a great route, great timing, great throw that time, as you mentioned, by Weber. And I keep forgetting his name. I have to look down at my notes.
First down and 10 coming up. There's a handoff up the middle again. I believe that's going to be Macia on the carry, and he gets maybe three or 4 yards there, down to the 41.
And great job by the Dons making an adjustment, stopping the run there, limiting the play. And I'd say overall this Dons defense has looked pretty good tonight.
Second down and 7. They'll get tested next week with Desert Hills for sure. Dons almost jumping off sides as Weber goes down the field. That is going to be incomplete. Looking down the field there, trying to see who that was intended for. I think it was 85. I think it was Karsten Beal, number 85.
Yeah, Bill, I mean, I thought he came down with that catch. Okay, so it hit the ground. But, man, that was a great effort there by Bill. Credit these Cedar Valley kids for coming in here, playing a tough Spanish Fork team. They've played hard.
And Region 8's kind of wide open, and so to open the year with 2 schools from that Region 8 schedule. Weber rolling out, steps up, looking towards the sideline, takes a shot deep, has a man out there. That's going to be caught inside the 10. Spinning is Noah Burnham inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
Great awareness that time by Burnham as he was still in bounds and spun in and got a few more yards. Usually you just see people take the next step out, but he stopped on a dime.
And it's going to be first and goal from the 8-yard line. And Cedar Valley a chance to try to see it and try to knock this one in to get some points here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see a lot of Maya. See, he's not. Yeah, he's in there. Wonder if we'll see them hand the ball to him a few times to see if he can't get in.
Asia cuts it back up the middle, and he gets inside the 5 down to, that's going to be, I believe, the 4, maybe the 3.
Yeah, it looks like the 3. It is so hard to tell from this angle, Ryan, once they're on that side of the field. And at night, it gets even worse. We're just going to complain a little bit. I apologize.
It's the first game of the year, you know. We're kind of waiting to see. It's going to be the 3.
So 2nd down at the 3-yard line and goal. Okay.
We'll see what happens here. Weber from, I guess, kind of a shotgun formation. Here's Macia trying to get it in. And we'll see. No signal yet. And now signal touchdown for Cedar Valley. Vili Macia gets in for the score, the senior tailback. And it will make it a 41-20 score here in the 4th quarter with 8 minutes to go.
Let's see, you're down 21. Yeah, no reason to go for 2. I needed one of those coaches chart where they say go for 2 on these numbers. Can't do math that well anymore.
We'll see here what happens with the extra point. Holman's got a pretty good leg, and penalty flag comes in. I think we're going to get an offsides against Spanish Fork is what the early indication was from a referee from the sideline. And it is going to be that offsides against the Dons. So we'll see what Spanish Fork.
Last time this happened, Cedar Valley got 2 points out of it to make up for a missed extra point, but it looks like they're going to keep the kicker on there.
This is where you have to wonder, and now it looks like they might go for 2 right here.
Might as well go for it. What do you have to lose? You're down by 21 points.
You have an opportunity here potentially. Then they'll have to go for the onside kick. I would think you'd, with 8 minutes, well, you might not.
And the hands team is meeting on the Dons sideline as we speak they were talking, I think, a little onside kick.
Weber back to throw, pump fakes, holds it, and goes down and gets sacked. Getting there was number 53 for Spanish Fork, Ulrich. Togagaye gets there, number 53.
And man, Togagaye, he has quite the motor on him. That kid's out there having fun, and that's what high school football is all about. And I see him on the field dancing with a lot of energy.
So right there, it'll be first down. We'll have a kickoff. Then we'll get a first down here with 8:15 to go in the 4th quarter. 41-20 lead coming up here for Spanish Fork, and this is going to be the Dons lining up thinking onside kick for sure. I guess with 8 minutes and 19 seconds, you don't have to necessarily go for the onside kick, but you would probably, in a 3-score game, Chris, I would think that you'd have to probably look at it. And Spanish Fork had lined up on the wrong side of the field.
I'm laughing with them, not at them, I promise.
We'll get that kind of squared away, and the hands team will be ready to go here.
Yeah, well, it's only week 2 for them, so yeah, they're kickoff from the 40 here, so you got the hands team lined up at the 50. You got a couple guys in mid-range and then one deep in case Cedar Valley decides to go for the onside kick.
And sometimes what you'll see happen is you'll see them not necessarily do the 10-yard, bounce it really high kind of a kick, but they'll kind of pick a spot in the field and just try to outrun you.
That's almost as effective as anything I've seen. At the end of the day, the advantage is on the receiving team.
So it sure looks like an onside kick's coming, and it is. And right there, immediately falling on it will be Spanish Fork. Trying to think of who came up with it.
So it was 81. Mullins picks it up, and he went after the ball. He didn't have to, but wasn't going to allow it to go 10 yards.
You kind of run that risk sometimes of kind of waiting for it to go 10, and then somehow the other team gets it.
Or it takes a weird bounce. It's, crazy things happen. So I think the best approach is to be aggressive. And they can't touch you until the ball goes 10 yards, I believe, as well. So you might as well just go and get it. Because if it goes 10, you might get rocked before the ball gets to you.
Zach Dart back in the game for Spanish Fork. 8:14 to go, fourth quarter. And there's the fake to Cade Olson. Here's Tayson Reed, breaks free into the secondary. And the last man, well, not quite the last man, but somebody from the one of the defensive backs. That was number 15, Tanner Evans, who had the blocked punt earlier, comes up there with the tackle.
Yeah, I assume if Evans didn't make that tackle, Reed was going to go in, the other guy to miss. So great tackle by Evans. We'll call it a touchdown saving tackle.
1st and 10 coming up here, Spanish Fork, and this is where you have to kind of wonder. Cedar Valley's been on the field a lot here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
here in the second half especially.
And the game, I think time of possession definitely has belonged to the Dons. We don't obviously keep that stat, but
here's Cade Olson trying to turn the corner inside the 30, the 20, picks up a block, cuts back. Inside penalty flag comes in as Cade Olson gets inside the 20.
Who are they calling that on? I think that was Reed threw a great block on that. I hope they didn't call that on him because I didn't see him do anything other than shove the guy 8 yards down the field, and it wasn't in the back. Look at this block here by Reed. It wasn't in the back. He got in front of him, but I don't know if that's what they called.
It's going to be a hold, it looks like, against the Dons.
So that couldn't have been Reed. Okay, he wasn't holding. Hey, but it's great to see Olson. He limped off the field the last time we saw him. He gets the carry there. Gets another first down that's negated by penalty, but we'll bring up 1st and 5, 6.
Biggest thing if you're Spanish Fork, that clock just continuing to roll here for the Dons. Next week, Spanish Fork back at home, a 7 p.m. Friday night kickoff here on SFCN. The Desert Hills Thunder will make the trip up from St. George. Ready to go right here. Dart, the quarterback from shotgun. Back to throw, looking to the top of your screen, one-on-one coverage. That ball is going to be tipped and almost intercepted as Proctor, number 8. CJ Proctor had his hand on it, kind of tipped it up, and I thought for sure he was just going to kind of tip it up and then catch it.
Yeah, that looked to me like pass interference. He kind of shoves him off and then at the same time hits it with one hand. But they didn't call it, so I guess it wasn't pass interference. It was great defense.
You definitely see some.
He extended his arm fully and grabbed the ball at the same time. I don't know what else you call that.
2nd down and 5 coming up for Spanish Fork. Dart ready to go. Here's the give up the middle to Tayson Reed. Reed one-on-one in the secondary, breaks a tackle and goes in. Touchdown, Spanish Fork.
Wow, what a huge stiff arm that time by Reed as he finds himself in the end zone once again. I have to count how many that is. But yeah, great run, and he capitalized with a huge stiff arm on that run and said, "Not today, son." Look at this stiff arm right there.
And Tayson Reed finds a way there, and
that's I've got 2 touchdown runs for him, so multiple people contributing for the Dons tonight as they get the PAT, and there's no penalty on the PAT.
The extra point is through. It's 48-20 Spanish Fork. We're going to have plenty of options tonight for the MVP Sports MVP of the game. That will be coming up in our post-game show. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17. We do want to thank MVP Sports, the Car Guys, the Blue Diamond Auto Group, 2 Jacks Pizza, Mikkel Thompson and Hunter, attorneys at law, the Driggs Mortgage Team, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Lance Wilson State Farm Insurance. We thank them for making this broadcast possible here tonight on Spanish Fork 17. I want to welcome those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. If you couldn't catch a portion of tonight's game, or you have a family member or a family friend that wants to watch the game, they can see an archived version coming up here within the week on YouTube, on our YouTube page. And then next Friday night, we have another live football game, 7 p.m. kickoff between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Desert Hills Thunder.
And check out that logo. Pretty unique logo. A lot of them you see kind of copied from other Major League teams almost, but that's a pretty original one.
Desert Hills tonight, they are at home taking on Alta. They were up 7-0, I think, when we were at halftime. They started that game at 8 o'clock instead of 7, as that one goes deep into the end zone.
Is that because of the heat down in the Desert Hills area, or they got TV money coming in? No.
I don't know if it was the heat, or sometimes I've noticed that if it's a long travel, they'll go a little bit later. But
yeah, that makes sense. Just don't see too many 8 o'clock games at the high school level. Usually they're at 7.
So 6:52 to go, fourth quarter. Cedar Valley with the football, trailing by 28 here.
And the Dons have, they're one touchdown away from enacting the mercy rule. If you would have told me that at halftime, I'd have never believed we'd have gotten this close.
There's a screen pass that is complete. That's Brennan Wolf on the catch, and Wolf brought down immediately right there.
It's Neula with the huge tackle there, and the Dons are starting to play some backups, as we're going to really have to pay attention to our roster to give shout-outs to these guys that work hard. They're getting some playing time here in the fourth quarter.
Ready to go right here. It's going to be 2nd down and 11, 6:20 to go, fourth quarter. Weber hands the football off around the corner. That's Parker Christensen. He's done a lot of the kickoff and punt return duties tonight. And he'll bring up 3rd down and probably about 12 as Shepard, it looks like, in on the tackle.
And it looks like both teams are taking this opportunity to get some playing time to the younger guys. And I don't even know this. Are they playing JV and sophomore games this year?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, good. I should have looked that up, but I just don't know what's going on with sports.
3rd down and 13. Back to throw with some time. Stepping up in the pocket, throws over the middle. That one's complete. Going to be well short of the 1st down. As Tegan Church makes the catch.
Depends on what roster you're going to go with, but yeah, we'll go with Church because they gave us another one, and it's got him as Hanson, so maybe he goes by both last names.
4th down and 7. The punt team on here and Spanish Fork doesn't have it now. They're going to drop someone back deep.
Yeah, Shepard's going to drop back, but at first he wasn't there, and we got a penalty, illegal substitution on the Dons.
It won't make a big difference. It's still going to be 4th down and about 2.
Do they have 12 guys? What's going on here? Yeah, they got 12.
I was going to say, I didn't see. I was looking at I was looking at the offense. I wasn't looking. I think I was looking at who was coming back to return the punt. I wasn't looking to see about a substitution. And now Cedar Valley will take a timeout here with 5:04 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're going to think, hey, it's 4th and 2 now. Do we want to go for it, or do we want to go ahead and continue to punt? You're down 28. What's the worst that can happen? I'd probably let these kids have an opportunity to continue this drive and see if they can finish it if I'm Cedar Valley's coaching staff. What do you got for us on the score front, Ryan?
American Leadership Academy, they beat Ben Lomond 24-7 tonight. Sky Ridge beats Bingham 35-7. That one's gone final. Let's look at some scores maybe. Orem beat East 24-0. As you see, new head coach Dustin Smith there on the sideline. He sat down with Sam Higginson a couple weeks ago. Did a season preview here on Spanish Fork 17. Kind of previewed the upcoming season, and he's in a good spot right here. About to pick up his first win as a head coach.
That'll bring the Dons to 1-1, and every game matters with the RPI, so a huge win here for the Dons. They're going to cheer for Cedar Valley to do well the rest of the way, because every time Cedar Valley wins, that helps the Dons out.
Weber's going to throw that one up. That's complete for a 1st down across the 40. That's number 84, KJ Fisher.
A great play action fake that time by Weber as he stalled enough time to allow Fisher to get wide open down the field.
So under 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Going quick is the Aviators here. Back to throw with some time, stepping up. Weber takes a shot down the sideline, has a man out there, and if it's complete, we'll see. And it looks like it is complete out to Lucas Peck, number 17. He had a pretty active first half. I think that might be the first time here in the second half we've called his name. And Peck and Cedar Valley's knocking on the board.
Yeah, they're moving the ball well on this drive, and we see the Dons switching some guys out here, getting some more people, some opportunities to play.
First down and 10, ball on the 27-yard line. And here is a give up the middle. Trying to see here.
Is it Lindsay?
I think it was A.J. Lindsay, number 20. Short gain there on first down. Brings up second down and about 5 coming up.
A 2nd and 5, not a bad pickup. Unfortunately, there's only 4:10 to go.
Here's another give to Lindsay. This time he cuts it up, back through the middle, spins. He's going to have, I think, another first down. This time he's going to be inside the 15, down to about the 14.
Yeah, big first down here. Aviators just down 28, can cut it to 21 here. Or, I guess, 20.
Ready to go again. They'll give it to Lindsay. Tries to go off that left side again, cuts it back up the middle, and kind of into no man's land. Brings up second down. You have to like the Cedar Valley team, because Chris, you mentioned something earlier. Said, you know, you kind of see two things happen. You either stay in and kind of fight, or you just kind of get that mentality of kind of rolling over. And boy, they really have not rolled over in this one.
Yeah, they haven't for sure. They're still out there throwing blocks, running hard, playing hard.
Weber throws this one. That's complete inside the 5. And that is going to be again out to Tegan Church inside the 5.
Yeah, so that's another 1st and goal here. We got a flag though.
Brenner Shepard, the junior quarterback, safety, and wide receiver, in on the tackle. And we'll see here. I think it's going to be a hole. Ooh, that might be, if it's where I saw it, Chris, that could be an illegal hands to the face.
I didn't see it. I wasn't watching the Car Guys instant replay. I noticed that it ended.
So I have to wait and see here. And I kind of wonder if it was against...
Had to have been against the Dons.
Yeah, it must have been.
And moved it half a distance to the goal line. So really good, what, a couple of yards to go here.
1st and goal from the 2. Option play. Here is, that is number 49. That is Brennan Wolf. Brennan Wolf on the carry.
Yeah, great job though by the Dons defense screening that along, and then I think it was Rasmussen that came up and made that tackle there. We're under 3 minutes here. This game is starting to wrap up, and I've been very impressed with the Dons' ability to bounce back from that loss last week.
A give up the middle. This is Wolf. He's trying to get in the end zone, and again he'll be denied the end zone. The Dons getting there.
48 for Cedar Valley.
Yeah, 3rd and about 2 or 3 again.
And I'll bring up a 3rd down and goal from the 2. So
Cedar Valley's changing personnel here. Looks like maybe they might try and throw it, or they've brought their starters back in. I guess we'll see.
It's a good amount of changes. I want to say 4 or 5 substitutions.
I see who they brought back in. Muasai's back in the backfield.
Saga in motion. There's the give. I think it was Saga who got the carry. And touchdown, Aviators. As for the 2nd time tonight, getting in for the touchdown with Saga.
If you need 2 yards, that's your guy if you're Cedar Valley, as he's able to just punch that in, and they love handing off to the fullback when they get in that goal line situation.
Now we'll give them a good offensive threat. This is a Cedar Valley team that can score some points right here. The extra point coming on. This will be number 31.
Yeah, if I'm Cedar Valley, I think
Elijah Holman on.
Yeah, Cedar Valley needs to figure out a couple of things. One is they need to figure out how to stop the big play, the big pass play in particular. They've struggled against Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork on that. And then the other thing they need to do is try and limit some of those silly penalties that have stopped some of their drives, I think. That'd be the 2 things for them.
the extra point was good. And Chris, and that's one thing you kind of talk about, and you and I have talked about this a couple of different ways. When you had the old region games, you kind of used that prep season, the preseason, to kind of get ready to go.
Didn't matter if you won or lost, really.
But now with the RPI, it's a little different, although you still have to be ready to go for region, because those are the games that you're going to have those are the games you really want to win for a lot of pride, and those are the main teams you're going to play.
Yeah, you play them year in and year out, those region games, so you know those opponents a little better. It's usually a little closer to your city, but at the same time, yeah, every game matters now. So that's one good thing about the RPI. I'm still not 100% sold on it, though, Ryan. I kind of like the old format.
Holman will again go for the onside kick.
He got it.
And
it went out of bounds.
It goes out of bounds. It looked like Grant Salter, number 1, was going to have a chance to come up with it.
He had it, and then it squirmed out of his hands. I swear he had it in his hands, or I'm seeing things.
It looked like he had, if he didn't have it, it looked like he was right there to potentially get it. And with a minute 41 to go, Spanish Fork, I'd imagine about maybe, 3 or 4 plays, and the Dons will have a chance to get their first win of the year.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot of running up the middle. We got a penalty here.
So the ball will be on the 49. I'm trying to see here. Is there...
Somebody must have...
It's against Cedar Valley. They must have been maybe offsides, or...
They ran before the ball was kicked. They lined up on the line. That's hard to time.
First down and 10. Ball coming up here for the Dons. Minute 40 to go. Zach Dart back in at quarterback. The Dons may have moved a little bit early there. Up the middle, breaking a couple tackles, number 45. That is Clay Fualani there.
All right,
there, picks up 9.
So there's 2 45s on the roster, so I've probably been calling Valentine's name all night for Fuali, so I apologize there.
Second down and 1 coming up.
If the Dons can pick up the first down here, I wonder if they'll get in the old victory formation and call it a night.
Have to see now. We're in the final minute here of the fourth quarter. 48-27 lead for Spanish Fork. Give up the middle, get first down and more. Inside the 20, still on his feet, makes a man miss, and inside the 15. Once again.
Yeah, he said Fiai on the PA announcement, but he did a great run there, Fiai. The one thing is he's got to keep that ball a little bit closer to him or he's going to fumble. He's got that thing all over the place, but great run outside of that.
And now really when you look at it, Chris, like you talked about, you can pretty much just get that play clock under 25, make this the last snap of the game. Dart will take a knee here. And that's the last snap. They now just have to let the final 20 seconds run off the clock. And Spanish Fork, Chris, will move to 1-1 on the year.
Yeah, great job by the Dons picking up a huge win here after a heartbreaker in double overtime. They did everything they had to on offense, and their defense did a great job of slowing down Cedar Valley when they needed to.
So the clock has hit all zeros, a 48-27 win for Spanish Fork. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will have our final thoughts. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game and get you ready for next week's game here on Spanish Fork 17.
If you're looking for a workout, you know MVP Sports is the place to start, and that includes pickleball. MVP Sports has all you need to get active in this growing sport. Paddles, shoes, clothing, and the pickleballs. MVP Sports in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? Come to the guys you trust. The Car Guys are part of the Blue Diamond Auto Group, and they have the best selection of quality vehicles at the best prices for your budget. The Blue Diamond Auto Group with the Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Well, it's gone final here tonight in Spanish Fork. A win for the Dons, 48-27 over Cedar Valley. Ryan Pickens and Chris Hurst back here with you at Spanish Fork High School. And Chris, tonight was one of those nights where we kind of wondered maybe a little bit in the first quarter. Cedar Valley got off to a great start. Then Spanish Fork all of a sudden got a couple of stops, turned those stops into points, and it all went from there.
You're absolutely right. Great team effort by the Dons that are 1-1. They get a huge win, and they're off to play Desert Hills next week.
The Thunder will be a very will be a big test for Spanish Fork early on. We'll see what they can do next week. We have our MVP Sports MVP of the game tonight, Chris, and who are we going with tonight?
I'm going to go with Morley Bennett. He got this team started on the right foot, and it seemed like whenever they needed a huge play, he caught the ball, he moved the ball downfield, and he has 2 touchdowns. Could have given it to a lot of guys, but we're going to give it to him tonight for getting the scoring started.
Yeah, definitely a nice win tonight for Spanish Fork. The Dons move to 1-1. Cedar Valley falls to 0-2. We got another fun one next Friday night. Our next live game will be a 7 p.m. kickoff here at Spanish Fork between the Dons and the Thunder. Desert Hills will be playing that game up a classification, Chris, but when you really take a look at what Desert Hills can do, they're potentially a very dangerous team in their classification.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Dons match up. Desert Hills, a lower classification, but well known for their football program, and they've had teams rolling down there in the desert.
It'll be a great night again next Friday night, 7 p.m. kickoff here on Spanish Fork 17. We'll say so long tonight for our entire crew and my partner Chris Hurst. I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long until next Friday night. We got more high school football on Spanish Fork 17.